All right, welcome back to the IMNerd podcast, guys. I'm your host, Freyway, and I'm here with my co-host, Ken Chan, as well as one of our recurring and probably our most recurring guests at this point, I think, Anthony Simpson. He's with us today. He'll be joining us talking a little bit about the new Pokemon game that just was announced recently, and also Elden Ring, which seems to be the most popular game in the world at the moment. And I think for good reason. Anthony?
Wait, I'm the most popular recurring guest.
I don't think that's what I said.
No, that's what you meant though.
Okay, all right. Well, you know what? I can't take that from you. You are the most popular guest on our platform. But yeah, you are currently streaming Elden Ring actually on Critical Hit Plus, right? On Twitch?
Yeah.
How's that been going?
It's been going great. I really enjoy the game. I don't know if I should like lay out my caveats now or later.
I want to hear. You can go right into it. We can just get right into this. I want to hear about Elden Ring. Okay. We'll jump back into it. We'll go back and forth.
Yeah, mainly we're talking about Elden Ring and then that new Pokemon announcement. But for now, you can tell us the legend.
Yeah, I got some questions on Elden Ring, so you tell us stuff, and then we'll kind of piggyback off of that.
Okay, all right, then here goes. Before that though, wait, don't you have to invite me to the call or something?
What call?
The one to record.
No. We're doing some other shit.
Okay. We're just recording straight on Discord now. Yeah, we don't even need.
Nice. Yeah. All right. Okay.
Talk to us. Let's start from the beginning too. Character creation.
Good looking out, man. Just as a side note, good looking out, being like, hey, did you guys forget something?
Yeah. Because I just wanted to like make sure.
Ant's he's like our podcast manager at this point.
Yo, listen, man. He keeps shit together. He's a diva. He's like, listen, everything's got to be, all the ducks got to be in a row.
Speaking of ducks, Duck Dynasty, rise up.
Oh my god.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that in a little bit. All right.
Look, I just know streaming. Like every time that I boot up the stream, just something technical goes wrong, and I'm.
But anyway, you don't have to tell Kenny and I. We've had quite the remarkable February.
Like I'll be like, didn't I just stream like 12 hours ago? Why did something break? I don't understand. Anyway, life of a streamer.
Life of a recording artist.
So Elden Ring. I'm actually really enjoying it a lot. I haven't enjoyed a game this much since Breath of the Wild.
I knew you were going to say Breath of the Wild because they're probably like, I won't say that they're similar, but they're both open world and you could do a lot of shit that you want to do. But how long did you spend on character creation screen? Like that's always one of the things that.
We documented it. We came up with lore. It was like an hour and some change. Yeah. It was almost. It was a while. Yeah, it was a while. Damn. We came up with lore for my character. It was a blast.
Yeah. What's your character's name?
My character's name is Twin Sword Timmy. Well,
Twin Sword.
That's what his friends call him. Is Twin Sword Tim to his enemies. He's a wild man.
Does he use dual blades or some shit? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, he does. He started with 2 swords.
Well, that's why he started with 2 swords. Now he's fucking horse handler horse.
No. Hold on.
He fucking rides a horse and fights on the horse all goddamn day.
He's got a double blade. So he's still following the lore. We're here for the lore. He has to use 2 swords in some way. Even if it's in one hand, he's got to use 2 swords. So
he's on some Zoro shit.
But apparently the game was like, look, you're not going to make it if you don't know how to block. So
the game doesn't allow for 2 swords all aggro.
No, it doesn't actually. It lets you have the option, but it's like I don't know why you chose death. So you've chosen death.
Hey yo, the game's like you can do whatever you want to do. We don't advise it, but you are more than free to do whatever you want to do.
But no, I'm enjoying the game a lot. It's actually a really great game. My caveats though are
real quick, before your caveats, because you made the Breath of the Wild comparison. I saw a meme that was like new open world game comes out, or new game comes out. Is it hard? It's like Dark Souls. Yes. No. Is there grass? Yes. It's like Breath of the Wild.
That is literally. I think that is so accurate too. Every game.
Is it hard? Yes. Dark Souls. No. Is there grass? Yes. Breath of the Wild.
Grass. I like that grass is the only thing necessary for it to be Breath of the Wild.
Look, because you want to know why? Because Zelda games, you always go around and cutting the grass. I don't know how that started. I guess Ocarina of Time. You just go around cutting the grass because you're just like,
You
I
get
can.
rupees?
Why not?
Yeah, you get rupees from
Yeah.
that shit.
And every sequential
Well, no, I mean before
Zelda
that,
game.
every Zelda.
Yeah, Link to the Past too. But
I don't remember if there was grass to cut in the very first Zelda, but 100% in A Link to the Past.
The very first Zelda.
Can you cut grass in Elden Ring too?
No.
Okay.
You can hide in it though. And at first I thought it was kind of bullshit that like, you would like stealth and the guys wouldn't see you. But then some guy was inadvertently hiding in grass and he jumped me and I was like, oh shit, I guess it works. I didn't see him.
Oh my god.
I was like, oh, I guess he wasn't doing it on
Oh
purpose,
my god.
but I just see a blade come swinging out of the grass and I was like, oh shit.
Oh my god.
Because like
He said I thought it was bullshit.
In a Miyazaki designed game, you're not really sure if it's like there's a guy in the grass or if the grass is actually attacking you.
Yo, you are too much. This is too much already.
Oh, shit.
He said I thought it was bullshit, and then some guy jumped out of the grass at me.
I was like, oh, it works both ways.
I was like, oh shit, this is real. This is what it feels like. That's so bad. Yo, that's amazing. That is actually amazing. Some guy jumped out the grass at you. It's like, I didn't know if the grass was attacking me. Oh man.
But my history with Souls games is I've actually only really played and beat one, and that's Dark Souls 2.
So wait.
Come to find.
So wait, this game is related to Dark Souls? I don't know anything about it. Except I've seen a little bit.
It's made by like the same people.
Okay. So that's why people are comparing it to Dark. That's one of the reasons why people are comparing it to Dark Souls.
Made by the same people, except this one, the special little twist is that the lore is written by George R.R. Martin.
Yes, which is insane. I mean, in theory, that's insane.
Yeah, because that guy's lore is out of control.
Yeah. So okay, you were making a comparison to the Souls games.
Oh yeah. So it's like by the same developer.
Yeah.
I come to find out that so first of all, I played Dark Souls 2 on a dare. Highlands, if you are somehow watching or listening, thank you for the $50. One of my coworkers dared me.
Not only did he say I played it on a dare, he spoiler alert said I won the bet.
Right.
He was like, hey, thanks for the 50, bitch. I won.
Well, we were talking about video games. This is like back in 2000, whenever, like the early 2000s or whatever, whenever Dark Souls 2 was out. And he dared that he bet me that I couldn't beat Dark Souls 2 in a month. And I was like, motherfucker, it's never taken me a month to beat any video game in my life. So I was like, how much you want to bet? And at first he was like 100.
So much time.
That's what I said. And back then I was a young 20-something. I had nothing to do.
Yeah.
So, like
that's when we could put 16 hours in with no question a
yeah,
day. 16 hours a day.
I was like, you don't understand. I beat all the Uncharted games in a sitting. Like in a sitting.
Oh shit.
I've beaten every Uncharted game except for 4, but by then I was an old man, so different story. But anyway.
A man grown.
Yeah.
What about the Tom Holland one? Did you beat the Tom Holland one?
That's Fortnite. You're getting confused.
Stop. Stop. Tom Holland was just starring in an Uncharted movie.
Tom Holland, Nathan Drake isn't Fortnite. That is, I'm not joking.
Well,
wait a second.
Fortnite
wait
has
a
everything.
second. They added Nathan Drake, but
yes.
the Tom Holland Nathan
No. I don't know if you guys understand, right? Everyone thinks like the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, is the center of everything. It's actually Fortnite. Fortnite is the actual multiverse because every character is in it.
It truly is, though. I mean, I saw Naruto. The Titans are in there.
Yeah, like everyone's in it, and I'm reminded every time I boot up my PS5. Like,
I saw Reiner holding a shotgun in Titan form,
and you're like, what? Like he's already in a game. I don't understand. Look, to the 12 people out there that own a PS5, you know that every time you boot it up, that you see every time a Fortnite character is added to Fortnite, whether you want to or not. So
that's right. I was watching the stream, and when he started Elden Ring and fucking Tracy Trouble. It was like, Tracy Trouble's coming to Fortnite.
Who the fuck is Tracy Trouble?
She's kicking ass, breaking hearts.
I said, who the fuck is Tracy Trouble?
Whoever she is,
she's in Fortnite. But all right, so we veered off the path. All right, so
Yes.
I got dared to beat Dark Souls 2. I beat it in like a little over a week or something like that.
Damn,
And
not even long.
I
You had time to spare.
Yeah, dude, a month is an absurd amount of time to beat a game. Like, if it was like, I bet in a month you can't get top 10 on the speed runs, it's like, well, yeah, probably not.
Right.
Like,
right.
If it's just like a normal game to play and beat, a month is an absurd amount of time for a bet window. Anyway.
But I felt a little bad, like, because I was like, oh, maybe I can't beat it. Maybe like because the way they were talking about it, I had never heard of like Dark Souls really before that.
Yeah.
So I was like, maybe it's really difficult. So I tried and I beat the game, and I was like, yeah, that was about what I expected. It was difficult, but it was But I beat him like a week and some change. I told him like I didn't tell him until like after 2 weeks to make it seem like it was
Yeah.
I didn't want to break him. I guess it took him longer than a month.
I'd have been like, I'm done with this shit, bro. Give me my 50.
You wanted to leave enough room so where he might bet you again. I know what you did.
Man,
Make it seem like, oh, I came kind of close. I almost lost. Oh, you almost got me. Almost had me.
But needless to say, I beat it. I didn't really pay attention to the story. Not really that there was much story there because I wasn't interested. I guess I was like,
you have a goal.
I was like $50 and my pride is on the line. So,
Yep.
So that's my experience with the Dark Souls game. I did play Dark Souls 3. I purchased it instead of borrowing it from a friend. I actually purchased it. I was like, let me give this series a try. I tried to play Dark Souls 3, and maybe like 4 days into playing it, it's a dark game. I had to like close all of my curtains and turn off the lights and shit so I could see. And maybe like 4 days into playing it, I got up on like the 5th day and I was like, just like very sad and kind of melancholy. And I was like, why am I sad? And I went to go turn on Dark Souls 3 and I realized it's because I was depressed. I was depressed playing the game. Dark Souls 3 had it spiraled me into depression, and I was like, I can't play this anymore. I'm like sad.
Yeah.
So I never beat Dark Souls 3 because it made me sad. Not because it was like too hard or anything like that. I was just like, no, I don't want to be like sad anymore.
That's me with Resident Evil Nemesis. That game is so damn dark. Every fucking place you're in, every scene is so dark. It makes me not want to play it. Not to mention that I'm also terrified of it, but that's besides the point now.
Yeah, like it fucks with your mood, right?
It does. Like genuinely, it does.
So
and I don't like playing those kind of games in the daytime. I feel like when I'm playing a game that's dark like that, I like to play them, and I prefer to only play them at night, so it gives the real vibe, the feel.
Even if you do play it during the day, I mean, I got like blackout curtains, so like it was like being in like one of those houses in a horror film, where like during the day it's even.
Dude, I bitched so hard for him to get them curtains. Because I used to go to New York, especially before COVID. I would go to New York to Ant's apartment a lot. And I'd be like, yo, there's a fucking glare on the TV. Like, there's always a glare.
Like a crazy glare.
Yeah. Because he's got big-ass windows. Like, really nice apartment, nice windows. And
good sunlight. Great sunlight.
Great sunlight. Not when Kenny's there, though. I'm like, get these fucking blinds working.
Yeah, it becomes a dungeon when he's here. I'm just like, I
want to see the screen. We're watching Game of Thrones, and there's a fucking beam of light across the screen. I'm like,
he made me install like a shade over my skylight because he kept bitching about it, and I was like, all right.
I was like, Ant, we can't see the screen.
Like I know Kenny lives his life as a gremlin, but
it was like, just wait until it's nighttime. I was like, yeah, but we're awake now.
Right. So as for Elden Ring though, so Dark Souls 3, you were like, fuck this game. Dark Souls 2, you beat in a week and a couple days. And now we have this new, by the same director or developer, Elden Ring, which is taking over. Graphics look amazing. It's not exclusive, is it, to PS5?
No,
it's on PC. It might be on Xbox.
Okay. It's on Xbox too, isn't it? Yeah.
Okay, so it's on the really high power systems is what it's kind of one of those things.
Yeah, I mean, it has trouble running even on those systems, so like it can't go on the Switch.
Okay, I imagine I was gonna ask because it's it's like early days that there's probably some crazy glitches. I imagine.
Okay, I've gotten one glitch where I like try to summon my horse and then like I summon the horse, and then I freeze in the air, and then the horse runs off without me, and then I just linger there for a little bit, and then I die. That's happened to me like twice.
I have a dark sense of humor. I don't know why that's so funny to me.
I was really confused the first time it happened. I'm pretty sure it was on stream. I was like, "What?"
What is there any penalty to dying in Elden Ring? Like, do you just kind of
So you get these things called runes. They're like souls in the Souls game.
Okay.
And basically every time you beat an enemy, you get XP, and that is in the form of souls or runes.
Mm-hmm.
And every time you die, you drop the amount of runes that you have. You need runes to level up.
Yeah, so basically, you beat an enemy, you get EXP, and you got to like go to a spot to turn in that EXP to level up. If you die before turning it in, you lose all of your EXP.
Oh shit!
That you had acquired.
But it stays in that you like revive near you revive at like the last like save point basically.
Okay.
And you are able to go and collect your runes that you've lost at the exact spot where you die, depending on how finicky the game wants to be. And you can go collect your runes. But if you die
the
again,
game might tell you that you died in a volcano. I didn't fucking die there.
Sometimes it puts you like really close to the enemy that you specifically didn't die near. You're like, all right, game, sure. I died over there anyway. I died next to this cliff anyway. But if you drop your runes and then you die again before you collect them, then they're gone forever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
So you can go back and re-get your EXP basically at the spot that you died. But yeah, like Ant said, if you die again, then like whatever runes you now have on you are in that spot, and the old ones are gone.
Damn.
So like, let's say early game, like goats give you 5, like a soldier gives you like 100 or something like that, right? Let's say you like
actual goats.
Yeah, like actual goats in the wild that you can just kill.
Okay.
If that if that yucks your yum, then it's sure. But let's say you got like 6,000 runes, like 6,000 XP basically, and you lose that forever. You get tight life.
That would be at the beginning of the game. And this brings me to a really old meme. I wish I could find a picture of my phone. It's in there somewhere, but it's like it's a meme of a guy starting an RPG, like an Elden Ring type of game. And it says when you first start and you have to get EXP no matter how you can get it. And he's fighting crabs and he has like a big ass club and these crabs, my man is bloody, his shirt's ripped up, and there's crabs all over him. And he has he has a club, like he has a club in his hand and he's hitting crabs.
Those crabs are like, if you hard, you hard. They side. They like, they size up like crabs. They come and they whack you with like.
Yo, that meme is so. I wish I could find it. It's so good though. It's like he's bloody. It's so insane. It's like when you're at the beginning of an RPG and you're trying to get better equips, but you'll get them any way you can, and he's just fucking fighting crabs.
You just in the dirt, in the mud.
I just imagine you fighting goats, and like eventually the goat mama comes. She's huge.
No, actually, like a few times, some of those goats attack back. Like I was running from a giant once, and there was like a goat, and I assumed that the goat was like running away from the giant with me because it didn't want to die. But then it kept following me, and I was like, "What?" And then the goat tried to attack me, and I was like, "This little motherfucker!"
Yo, wait, I was watching that because he was streaming it, right? So I'm watching this happen, and he's running from the goat, and then I think the goat hits him, and Ant's like, "Is the goat with the giant?" Like,
yeah, it was like in league with the giant. I was like, "What the
fuck?" Goat with the giant? Like, what the fuck?
Oh man. Are giants? I don't know if every enemy has a health bar, but I remember seeing some gameplay early on of Elden Ring, and the guy was fighting. I think it was a giant, and it had like a red health bar at the bottom of the screen or something like that.
Well, okay, so everything's got a health bar.
Everything does, okay.
You target, it's got a health bar. But if it's a named health bar, then you're fighting a real.
Yeah. So the giants they're like the real.
No, giants don't have titles. They're just giants.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you are fighting like
a dragon.
I fought that dragon. There's like a dragon in the starting area, and it's very difficult, and I beat it. I was
damn. What do you get from that?
You get a dragon heart.
Okay, I'm sure that's going to be useful for crafting something absurd.
Well, I mean, so initially I was exploring the opening area, and I was like, okay, what's over here? What's over here? Saw there was a dragon. I was like, absolutely the fuck not. And then I explored, found a cave, went underground, and like came up on this island that you saw but you couldn't get to. And on the island is spoilers. On the island is a Church of Dragon Communion, and you can basically go to the altar there and trade in like dragon parts for dragon moves.
Oh
So
shit. Oh, is that how you were breathing dragon fire?
yeah, so like once I got to that Church of Dragon Communion, I was like, I need a dragon heart, and I was like, I know exactly where to get one.
Oh,
Damn. Because I saw that on your stream. I saw you breathing fire. Like this little avatar of dragon head comes out of nowhere and you just start
Yeah,
breathing fire.
yeah. It's slow, but it's useful. And
Yeah. Is it
and
powerful?
it's pretty powerful. But that all that to say that I've and having played, a bit of Dark Souls 3 and having played Dark Souls 2, I wasn't like the reason why I didn't like go back and play like Dark Souls 1 or Demon Souls or Bloodborne or anything like that is because I'm not really a crazy fan of the combat. I feel like it's clunky. And I guess maybe because I'm like a Smash player or used to be a Smash player slash, like I like games like Kingdom Hearts that are really like
Zelda.
tactile and like fast,
Yeah.
like really super responsive. And like Souls games are really kind of clunky and like they got like
Stiff.
this weight to them. Yeah. And
Yeah.
like the weight feels real, which is cool. But when you're like in a combat with like a boss that's like fucking on you and you're really trying to learn his patterns so that you can beat him and like get good, essentially, it's frustrating in a Souls game for me because I'm used to like controlling someone like Sora.
One of the things that I
Where like
really,
when I hit block, I block.
yeah,
Not
not some crazy lag on lifting your shield up because your shield is actually heavy.
yeah, right.
I
So
always think about Zelda has some of the best combat in my opinion because Link feels so good to control. Like Link can backflip and shit. He can sidestep. Like, my man be moving. And he's fast. And when you swing his sword, like he swings that shit. And when you block, he blocks quick.
it's like imagine playing a Mario game and you're not sliding all over the place. Like the floor is made of ice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't really gotten a chance to play many Souls games, but watching you play Elden Ring and everybody have fun, and people have been telling me to play for a long time. I really do. It's moving up my list of priority that I think I'm gonna finally do Dark Souls 1. Like I'm gonna start from the gate. But looking at you play and hearing about it, it reminds me of Monster Hunter. Whereas like Monster Hunter's combat's kind of clunky too. Like it's not Monster Hunter's not Kingdom Hearts combat. But once you get the feel for Monster Hunter combat, it's really rewarding and fun because like you have to commit to your moves or like know how to use them in certain situations. And the monsters have certain patterns and like the monsters are really like if Sora were to fight any monster in Monster Hunter, he would fucking destroy them because he's nonsense.
Yeah. But like, all the heartless are equally as nonsense. And if you go to like any humanoid, like any of the secret bosses in Kingdom Hearts there, in my opinion, I feel like the secret bosses in Kingdom Hearts are more difficult than any of the Dark Souls bosses that I fought. Granted, I've only played one and like 4 days of another game. But like I was able to get past them, whereas like in Kingdom Hearts 3, I'm still fighting the data organization.
Yeah,
So
that's not a hot take to me. I think that's just accurate.
they're difficult. But like, I've said that to several people and they're like, Kingdom Hearts, that game is so easy. And I'm like, have you beaten the data organization? Because I haven't. I'm pretty sure I'm better at video games than you are.
Like, I'm not talking about playing a game on normal
like,
and then like beating all the regular bosses in the story.
Yeah,
right? Like,
yeah. I mean, like fighting the real shit.
Yeah, the game was designed for everybody who buys the game to beat the game. Like, it was designed that way. It was not designed for you to beat the data org. I promise you that.
But I mean, that's just kind of like I feel like the idea of like get good is like kind of toxic in that way because people act like they see like a video of someone beating like a Dark Souls boss with no damage or like beating like Xehanort in Kingdom Hearts with no damage, level 1 Kingdom Key.
Yep.
And I'm like, you don't understand how many hours that person has had to put in to get good, to get that good. Like you don't just play the game and just be that good. It's impossible.
One of the things I love watching is actually, so I watch a couple Monster Hunter players who are like pro Monster Hunter players. They're insane. They just speed run the monsters. But when you watch them on Twitch, because when they upload it on YouTube, it's the perfect run. It's the run is perfect. So I said, let me watch this guy's Twitch for once and see how he actually does it. Man, he spends hours to get a 2-minute kill. And watching him do it is so funny because he gets really frustrated. He starts cursing and shit. And he's like, oh my God, the run is almost, I almost got it. And he's like, oh, it's scuffed. They just start fucking freaking out. They just start freaking out. They start freaking the fuck out. And you don't know what that, because when it goes on YouTube, it has a nice anime opening background to it. It's all perfect, and it's exactly 2 minutes on a dot. He done killed the Rathalos in 2 minutes, and it's like, okay, that was amazing. He's broken. He's the best player in the world. But then when you actually watch their Twitch and you get to see that shit live, it's hilarious.
Yeah, it's funny because like the people that can beat the games the fastest played it the most.
Yes.
They've spent a million hours to beat it in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But you never see that in like a 30-second clip that gets posted on Reddit.
Exactly.
And that creates, like, for Monster Hunter, it creates like a toxic thing where you see people, there's some people that you'll see talk on the internet where they're like, oh my God, you're not like fighting the monster correctly, right? If they're playing online. And this isn't a lot of people. From what I've seen, most of the community is like pretty welcoming.
Especially Rise. I feel like Rise has a pretty good community. Yeah,
but there are some people that are like, no, you got to do it this way. And it's like the way like what their favorite speedrunner did.
Yeah.
And it's like your favorite speedrunner, I don't think you realize, is like pulling out his ball hair to fucking get this run for you to watch. Like he's not going to be able to go online, hunt with 4 other people, and it'd be this seamless thing. It's just not how it works.
Yeah,
also. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I mean, but also it's just kind of like, and I guess a lot of people don't really do this or consider this perspective. If you think about like a game from the perspective of a game designer, like it's woven into the game for you to lose. Every single video game is woven into it for you to lose.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure that Miyazaki, the director for the Souls games, like has the same philosophy that like dying in a game is like, I think he said like dying in a game is a feature, not like a roadblock. And like a game that's really good at that is Hades. Like Hades, if you beat Hades in like your first run, you have missed out on 90% of the game. Like most of the game happens each time you lose,
Yeah.
Yeah, because every time you die, you go back and you get dialogue and story with the different like underworld people.
And it's like the same in, like any Souls game. I mean, honestly, most games, like you die, and that's like you're supposed to die. Like, because if you don't, then you beat the game in 5 hours. And like, what did they do all that hard work for you to beat the game in 5 hours for?
True. And I wanted to ask, in the terms of Elden Ring, have you been dying a lot? Like, is the difficulty up there, you think?
The learning curve to me feels the same as when I played Breath of the Wild. Now, when I first played Breath of the Wild, it was like a new kind of Zelda game. There hadn't been a Zelda game that had been controlled the way that you control Link in Breath of the Wild, and like the world was different, the controls were different, it was on a new system. So when I first played Breath of the Wild, I died a lot. And I don't normally die during Zelda games.
Early game for Breath of the Wild is really hard. Like early hard. Game is really hard. Eventually you get to a point where the game's not hard anymore, but early game of Breath of the Wild is fucking tough.
Interesting.
And I mean, like just with most games, honestly, the beginning is always hard because you have to learn the controls. You have to like your muscle memory has to get used to the controls. Yeah. You hit the wrong button. If you're playing something last week, like I was playing Ghost of Tsushima last week, so like I kept hitting square to attack, and I'm like, wait, that's not the attack button in this game, and I kept dying. Yeah. So I died a lot, but the learning curve felt equal to Breath of the Wild. I'm not dying nearly as much anymore. Yeah. I pretty much only die if I overwhelm myself in a situation or if I go and do some stupid shit that I know I shouldn't have done.
Does the world feel massive in Elden Ring?
The world is huge. The world, if for anyone that's played Xenoblade Chronicles X, it feels like that big but bigger. Because Xenoblade Chronicles X had 5 different continents, and there was a bunch of shit on each one. And I'm pretty sure Elden Ring is the same way. There's like 5 large areas, and I've only explored parts of 2 of them.
Real quick aside, because I'm planning on playing the first Xenoblade, but what's Xenoblade Chronicles X?
Xenoblade Chronicles X is like the equivalent of like Bravely Default or Bravely Second and Bravely Default 2.
I got you, Ant. Ant is struggling. Xenoblade Chronicles X is it came out in between 1 and 2. It was for the Wii U. Like all the Xenoblades though, not directly connected. And it
Anthology.
is kind of it is its own game, but it's even more its own game than the other Xenoblades. Like in Xenoblade X, you create your own custom character, and the story, like, it has similarities to other ones, but yeah, it's
like a space sci-fi. Actually, it takes place in our universe because like the ship that they were on was like the USS whatever it was called.
Yeah, so it's similar to Xenoblade, like all the Xenoblades, but it's its own
anthology. Gotcha.
Well.
Yeah, so you said Elden Ring, and actually the world is massive, which is great.
It's really big
because you feel like your system's actually doing something, right? Like you probably feel like this engine, whatever, Unreal Engine 5 or whatever the hell they're on now, is actually being put to good use.
Yeah, moreover, more than just that, I feel like the game the design of the game is great because in playing Dark Souls 2 and like reflecting on it and then playing Dark Souls 3, like they're essentially kind of like corridors. Those games are essentially like kind of corridors.
I know exactly what you mean. I hate that, by the way.
And they like lead to like it's an open world, but it's like basically like a bunch of different castles and keeps that you go to, and like if you see like a mountain, you don't get to explore that mountain or that mountainside. It's just like the keep that it's on. So this game does a really good job at like making the world actually feel like a world, and like more than just like it being cool to explore and stuff like that. It changes like the way that you progress through a Souls game, because normally in a Souls game, boss is like the roadblock, and you don't progress the game until you beat the roadblock. And in Elden Ring, I still haven't beaten the first like story boss. He's hard. He's a hard, frustrating, annoying boss.
So you can fight him at any time, but you can also just do like side quests, I guess, and stuff like that.
Since then I've fought that dragon. I fought like 4 different other bosses. Like, and like I've gotten better at the game in doing that, and like I've gotten better loot and stuff. So like the game is, people were saying this would be the most accessible Souls game, and I would have to agree, because like if you put in like Dark Souls 2 and you get to the first boss, you got to beat the first boss or you don't progress through the game.
Yeah, that's it.
And in this, you are going to face the first boss. You are going to lose. And you're going to lose for maybe like an hour with that wizard summon that they got placed there. And then you're going to be like, fuck this. And you're going to go and do something else. And you're going to get better at the game. And then you're going to come back and you're going to destroy the first boss eventually. Yeah. And that's cool, because like a lot of people feel like they can't really play Souls games if they don't get good. Yeah. Because the games are difficult.
I get what you mean.
And this game really lets you kind of do it your own way, which I think is magical. But for me personally, the thing that really changed it, because like I said, clunkiness, all that stuff, not really a fan. The moment that you get the mount is the moment that my entire perspective of the game turned. I was like, you guys should have heard me on the stream. I was like kind of complaining. I'm like, another Souls game. This is kind of what I was hoping it wouldn't be. Blah, blah, blah. I got on the mount and I was like, shit, wait a minute.
Reading, I can't read. The game wants me to read.
Oh man,
God, I gotta swing my
menu
sword.
Tutorials. Ugh. But the moment you get the mount, I was like, oh shit, this is different. I was like, this is actually really cool. And then I found out the mount can double jump, and I was like, I hate mounted combat in video games. Mounted combat in Elden Ring is...
And that's when he became Horus the horse handler.
So you have a horse. This is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, he's
no, he is the horse. The main character of Ant's Elden Ring playthrough is that fucking horse.
Don't listen to Kenny. He don't know what the fuck he's talking about. All right, the horse helps you get to where you need to get to. All right.
Do you have like any Epona song where you can just summon it out of nowhere?
You got like a little whistle, and you whistle, and you don't even have to like mount the horse. Yeah, you like whistle, and you like he's like a
just appears under you.
Oh shit!
It's really seamless. The way they did it is really good.
He appears under you, and you just kind of like end up saddled on it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's a magical
look,
spirit horse.
all other open world games with mounts, you gotta take a page from Elden Ring because the mount is pretty top tier.
They did it. Okay, they did some things right. I mean, this is the 2022 game, so it should be using the knowledge of every game prior to it to make the best possible experience.
If you make a down to earth Western game, the horse better be able to do backflips.
I'm just saying. Look, if the horses and the Pegasi and the wyverns and Fire Emblem can do flips and shit with all of their attacks, there's no reason why your horse in Ghost of Tsushima can't also do flips.
Horses and Fire Emblem are like fucking. They're like Tony Hawk. All right.
No, let them be Tony Hawk. That's what the people want. Give it to them. And how many people listening enjoy Tony Hawk Pro Skater?
I loved it.
You want your horse on a skateboard. Give me my horse.
I loved it. I used to customize my special moves on my skater. He used to be able to do the Superman where you get flat on the board with your arms out and shit. I used to do all kinds of tricks. I was a big fan.
The horses and Fire Emblem, they're like fucking rocket power.
Good.
Yo, you keep upgrading these horses.
We are riders on a mission.
Rocket power.
However that song goes.
Yeah. So okay,
but
go ahead, Kenny.
You weren't feeling. You had a lot of complaints. Ant didn't even think he was going to buy the game. He was like, you had a lot of complaints going into the game, and then your first like couple hours, or I don't know how long it was until you got your horse.
Yeah. Initially, and like reflecting on it, initially when they announced the game, I was like, another Souls game, and like George R. R. Martin's involved, and it's just gonna be bleak. It's gonna be bleak British people in a dark, desolate world again. I was not really interested.
Yeah.
And then I saw the first gameplay video, and then like someone summoned the horse, and I was like, wait, you got like a mount? And I was like, oh, that's cool. And the mount can jump, and I was like, oh shit, maybe this might be different. And I was interested, and I was like keeping a close eye on the game. And then closer to release, everyone was like saying how it was very like Dark Souls, and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna get it. But then I got it because my husband Kevin was like, "Oh, if you don't get it out, if you don't play it, I'll play it." So,
not only that, but you got that fucking PS5, and I feel like as one of 12 individuals who own one,
like I had to like represent the PS5.
Yeah,
Part of the reason you got the PS5 was for Elden Ring. Like I remember when you were talking about getting a PS5, you were like, "Well, Elden Ring's coming out."
Yeah,
and then I think there's like one or two other games you were talking about.
Right,
but,
and
like Sifu.
Oh yeah, Sifu is another great, but that's another podcast, I guess.
Yeah. So okay, how about resources? I want to know how resource management feels in Elden Ring. How do they do that? So like money, whatever the money system is, I guess bartering or buying weapons and armor.
Money is also runes. Like
everything runs on a rune system.
You use your XP for leveling up and for trade.
Okay.
So
it's easy that you don't have to worry about two different currencies.
Yeah, and there's just like a bunch of shit to pick up at all times. For anyone that played Ghost of Tsushima, it's like that. You'll like Ghost of Tsushima, you're riding past like a bamboo thicket, and you press R1 and you pick up the bamboo and use it for stuff. It's like that. You pick up berries, you pick up a bunch of random shit. I really don't know what it does yet.
Do you have is this one of those games where you have to kind of feed yourself and sleep and all that stuff?
No, it's not like that. You're dead or you're undead. I don't know.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That's good.
No, because I'm not really a big fan of real life maintenance in video games.
Oh, so you didn't like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas?
I wasn't the biggest fan. Like I played it obviously like everyone else in our generation, but when it comes to doing too much, like for example, I'll use a game that I actually know well. The older Monster Hunter games had a lot of maintenance to it, like a lot of maintenance, like fishing and feeding yourself, and it was just like a lot of things that you had to do, and they felt a little too like farming and stuff. It was just, the way they did it was so cumbersome. You had to literally go over to a patch and like hold the button and dig. Actually, you couldn't even hold the button back then. You had to keep pressing it to like dig and gather berries and stuff. It was very farmy, very farm heavy, and I'm not the biggest fan of that if it's not seamless. Like some games do it well. Monster Hunter Rise, for example, you just kind of like press circle as you're going past shit, and your character just
your guy just whoop,
they just grab it.
So then, here's a question: do you like Animal Crossing?
Never played it, so I have no opinion on that.
Based on what you just said, I feel like you'd hate it.
Well, I know that Animal Crossing, that's kind of the point of the game, though. So I can't. I feel like See, it's different when okay, Monster Hunter, right? I'm playing it because I want to do one thing, and it's in the title. But Animal Crossing, I feel like if you play Animal Crossing, you know that this is a game about literally maintenance. Like that is the game.
Right.
Like Animal Crossing is that. So I feel like it would be unfair to be like, I hate how much maintenance there is in Animal Crossing. Like
I
you'd
mean,
sound like a lunatic to me if you said that.
if you don't like it, you don't look. When I play Animal Crossing, I'm just like, man, some of these quality of life changes they couldn't come fast enough. But
Yeah.
but they never will because that is Animal Crossing.
Yes, at the core of the game, that is what you are doing is like managing things and constantly looking over things. And I get that. I wonder just how much there is of that type of thing in Elden Ring. But you say you're undead, so that means you don't really have to feed your horse all the time and all that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
you have to feed your horse when he gets hit because he doesn't like to get hit, and if you don't give him berries when he gets hit, he will leave you.
Gotcha.
Not forever, but he'll just be like, I'm not getting fucked up for you. Like, why would I?
Do you get to customize your mount?
Not as far as I have, like, not as far as I know. I'm also still wearing like the same clothes that I started with. I need to find new
Oh
clothes.
damn. Where's your new?
Yeah,
I heard, but you have weapons though. I heard that you couldn't
Oh,
equip
I
something
got.
because you don't have 30 strength or something like that.
Yeah, I got a fuck ton of weapons now, but like, not really the stats to wield them. I got like a double blade and I got a staff.
Yeah.
I'm building like some kind of like battle mage. No, some kind of like mage like warrior build. I don't really know where I'm going with
Yeah,
my build.
somebody had 30 strength and you were fucking blown away by that on the stream.
Yeah, cause yeah, it was like one of those swords or like a halberd or something that was
Yeah,
heavy.
something heavy.
I was like, shit, your stats get high in this game. But speaking of stats, and just like the way you build your character, and honestly, just overall the way you can make your choices in the game, it feels kind of like it's gonna maybe be strange to say, it feels kind of like D&D.
Okay.
It feels very like D&D esque, and as some people know, as I've come on the podcast before, I love D&D.
Yeah.
It really feels like an adventure. I guess like the adventure part of it and like the way that you like come across things randomly and how that can attribute to like the overall growth of your character feels very D&D like.
And you can allocate when you level up, I guess, you can allocate your points, I guess, to where you want. Is that how that works?
Or yeah, wherever you want. You start there are like 7 different classes to start as, quote unquote, but really you can start you can go wherever.
When you say classes, you mean like jobs or whatever? Like warrior?
No, not it's like so basically it's like they give you starting gear and they allocate your stats based on like that starting gear to like benefit that starting gear. So like I started as a warrior and I think that's like dexterity. So I had high dex at the start and I had like good clothes and like 2 swords for dex.
When I
But
play, I want to be the naked guy. You can be a naked guy and just
yeah.
naked. And
And
all
have shit stats.
shit stats. You got room to grow.
Look, no place to go but up because you are literally rock bottom.
I thought you
Room to
guys were going
grow.
to talk about some benefit, and I didn't hear it.
No, what
no,
benefit? No, the benefit is that you got room to grow. I think
no, you have zero benefit.
no, because most of the way they do it's kind of interesting. Where all the different we'll call them classes start at different levels. So like warrior might start at like level
Right.
7 or 5 or whatever. Some start at like level 9, whereas the naked guy with like the worst stats starts at level 1. So it starts at level 1 so that you can grow your stats specifically where you want to
Oh,
grow
I get
them.
what you mean.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of a rougher start, but it's for people who really want to customize their character all the way.
Yeah, I think like my class started at like dex level, like my dex was 14 when I started or 16. It was like the highest stat and like everything else is like 8 or 9 or maybe like a 12 here and there, but like that class that he's talking about, all your stats are 10.
Gotcha. That's
So
interesting.
yeah. Yeah.
That doesn't sound like a meme anymore.
Look, I gotta say, it's actually like I'm kind of blown away at how much I'm enjoying the game. It is actually a great game. I haven't said that about a game in a long time.
And it's
So what
also
about
visually stunning, I guess.
It could. I mean, coming from playing Ghost of Tsushima, I think that game is way prettier.
Gotcha.
But this game, especially for a Souls game, it's the prettiest one.
All right.
And
What about
all
the
of the places.
lore? Is the lore really engaging? Being that it's written by George Rough Riders Martin, Like what has
Not
the lore
George Rough Riders Martin.
has the lore brought you in?
No. No.
Damn.
Anthony's
No.
being honest. This is an honest take.
It hasn't, it's not like I don't care about it. Like, okay, the lore is as kind of convoluted as someone coming into Kingdom Hearts in 2022, I guess.
Oh.
It's, as far as I can understand, there was this queen, her name was America, and she
Her
went
name
on
was
a trip.
America?
Yeah. She
All
went
right.
on a trip. She dipped. She was like, "Bye, lands between." That's the name of the world. And everything went to shit. All her kids are fighting over the Elden Ring. The Elden Ring got shattered.
Sounds
Uh,
American.
yeah, the Elden Ring got shattered, and in the night they killed one of her kids.
Damn.
I'm butchering this story so bad. People listening are gonna be like, "Bruh, he didn't pay attention to the intro at all."
To be fair, some games, and I think games like Elden Ring, maybe there could be amazing stories, but I think I really want more games to just embrace if you want like an open world adventure game and there's just no story. Like I want more games like that because, for example,
You and Medina.
yo, for example, right? I'm playing Pokemon Legends of Arceus, and the game is really fun. I have my gripes with it. I won't get into all those gripes, other than the one gripe I'm about to talk about. The game's really fun, just playing the game, running around, doing shit. But then every fucking time I have to interact with the story, I'm just like, ah, like the story is so irrelevant and just bad. Like I don't fucking care about the story at all. But the game is so fun, and I come up against that in with a lot of games like open world adventure
Monster
games
Hunter.
that are really fun. Yeah, where you're just enjoying the game, but then all of a sudden people are just talking to you, and it's if the story was good, then I'd be. But it's like always trash. Like Monster Hunter Rise, the first Monster Hunter I really played, is super fun. The game does not have a story. As much as it
Doesn't.
pretends to have a story, and as much as people try to talk to you,
They got these twins who are like connected to these dragons, but we don't really care. We just want to kill the dragons.
As much as it pretends to have a story, it is terrible.
Yeah, we don't care about that shit. Medina said he wanted a hub. He just wanted the hub where you click on like
said he wanted the game. He said he wanted the game to be MS DOS, a DOS window where it just says like Rathalos, Rathian, Bishatin.
And you just go do it. You just go.
You just click Rathalos, and then you just fucking appear on the map next to him.
I understand, man. That whole like intro sequence.
You know when you load into a game and your character kind of like falls onto the ground. That's what Medina wants. He just clicks the DOS window and he's like bloop. He just like bloops in.
Get me to the game already.
Oh my god.
I feel like there's nothing worse than like you do the intro and you're just like, man, like is it over?
Yeah.
Man, yes. I love Kingdom Hearts 2. I do not play it as much as I would have replayed it because of the 4-hour intro.
Yo,
I appreciate
so
Roxas.
Annoying.
I appreciate Roxas, but man, if his thing could just be 30 minutes, yo, honestly,
but skip scene helps a lot. I won't lie.
It does.
Skip scene helps tremendously, but the first time playing Kingdom Hearts 2, so like, you know how we all were hyped in 2006 to play Kingdom Hearts 2. I mean, it was probably like one of the highlights of our actual lives. And when I, finally got it home, I'm super excited. I watched that amazing opening. And then it goes to this sad ass 4-hour long intro. It just kind of drags. And I remember playing it at night. I think I played it, as a midnight release, I feel like. So I'm tired too. Like I'm yawning and trying to get through this shit to get to something decent. And then obviously you get to the part where Axel comes in and you start dual wielding, and that shit is fire. No pun intended.
Fire. I played that game right after school, so probably 3:30. And I remember I played it until I went to bed that night. And I specifically remember my first day playing the game, I got all the way to Disney Castle or whatever. So I made some pretty good progress my first day playing that game. That game was great.
Yeah, that's pretty far.
But yeah, anyway, I really like games with good story. But there's a lot of games where they don't pull the story off. And if you're not going to pull it off, and sometimes like Monster Hunter Rise knows it doesn't have a fucking an Academy Award-winning story. just fucking get that shit out of my way and let me play the game.
Well, okay. I don't want to do Elden Ring like too dirty. It's like the story itself. I mean, I honestly don't really know because I've gotten to the first boss and can't beat him. So maybe it is
Maybe
great.
there's probably a lot
But-
more. Pokemon Legends
but-
Arceus story is absolutely awful. Though.
Of course, a Pokemon story hasn't been good since
But
now.
the game's
But
really
anyway,
fun.
I will say about Elden Ring, I'm not interested in the story, but I am interested in the lore, if that makes sense. The world itself, exploring the world, you like go, there's like this one place that's like kind of fleshy and rotty. It's called Kaled, and it's like it's rotting. It's like rotting away. It's like if you have like a piece of raw chicken in the trash and it's
Ew.
rotting away. Yeah,
What a fucking example.
it's pretty disgusting. There's like a rot swamp, and like literally if you walk in the swamp you get this status effect called rot, and it like turns you into a zombie. It's like a whole thing.
Shit.
Everything's zombified. But like that place interests me. I think the place is disgusting.
Yeah.
But like there's like lore behind like why it became the way it did, and like what the Erd tree is, and like how it shines on like everything and the lands in between and stuff. Like I like the lore interests me. I can't really say that the story's gotten to me.
That's what I mean though. Like a big game, big open world adventure game, right? Sure, there's lore. You got stuff in the world for me to explore and interact with. But like, don't give me a story. Don't give me a main quest. Don't give me an objective. Just let me run around and sandbox the world, and then find to get interested in what I find to get interested in. Like, I wish I could get more games that were like that and stop trying to like shoehorn in some shitty story that doesn't even really work.
Yeah. And I mean in that regard, I feel like, this game it succeeds at that, because you don't have to engage with the story if you don't want. You could play 60 hours of just the intro part and not even fight the first boss, and go and explore these two regions or however many other ones you can. And like, they're like last night I was on this tower and I was like, what the fuck is this tower for? And I was like trying to climb down it, and just
The Nestor's at the top.
I have a question. So I was under the impression that Elden Ring was a solo game, like a single player game, but it has online capability.
Yeah, you can like summon people. I don't have PlayStation Plus, and every time I load in the game, it tries to tell me like, "Oh, you're poor," because it's like, "Oh, due to your lack of PlayStation Plus, you cannot do online game."
Yeah, I wonder what exactly you do with the online feature, because
So Kevin loves it. He like summons people for certain things. You can either summon people, like you can either summon up to 2 people, or you can go to someone else's world.
okay.
And the way it works is like,
can you guys actually play together? Because Toten, someone who watches our stream, Toten made it sound like he can actually load into your world and play with you, and you guys can like hunt the monsters together.
If that's the case,
like.
I don't know, because I haven't done the co-op. It seems like it's like random who like shows up, but I don't know. Maybe you can get it so that you like can like pick a specific person. But if you can, I don't know how.
I have to look that up and see exactly what the multiplayer is like.
I mean, it's cool. Like you load in with your health bar and like all your items and stuff like that. And when you die, you dip. But you are free to explore the entire world. Like they don't have to even be near you. They like someone can load into your world and go do some other shit.
So I have a question. When you say your world,
bad as fuck.
The worlds are different. They're not. Just...
No, it's the same world. It's the same.
As
world.
in like load into your game, I guess.
Yeah, they'll load into your game and be running around with you.
Okay.
And the idea is that like they'll follow you or point you in a direction, maybe something you haven't done yet. Like when Kevin did it, he was like basically in like this Underdark area, which was actually kind of beautiful. Scary as fuck. And like the guy that loaded in with him must have known what he was doing, because he pointed him in the direction of some pretty good loot. So yeah.
Okay. I kind of like that. That would be fun for the perspective of somebody who's new to the game and somebody who's been playing it for a while. And they're like, oh, I actually can help you get out the early game quickly. Just follow me, and we'll just get.
You know what the problem with all this is though? I blame Fraser. This is all Fraser's fault for getting me into Monster Hunter. I look at like so many games now and go, man, I wish imagine a fully open world Monster Hunter.
Oh, that would be amazing.
And like you can run around and there's just like a fucking Rathalos on top of a mountain and shit. Like, dog, if I could get like Elden Ring, but it's Monster Hunter.
That would be
Jesus Christ.
so fucking cool. And you know what, Kenny? Now that you said that, Monster Hunter World 2 should be that.
Oh, please, God.
Like, that should be Monster Hunter World 2. They should, obviously, PS5, PC, whatever you got to do. But it should be, because, like, Rise is clearly going to be the Nintendo Switch. You know, that's going to be Nintendo's thing. It feels like a Nintendo game. It has that pizzazz to it. But I feel like for World, a game that's so focused on, you know, the actual world itself, and if you're going to call a game World, it should be open world, in my opinion. I feel like it should be an open world Monster Hunter game where it's just one big ass map, and you can go to a frozen area, you can go to a volcano area, you can go to a beach or underground area and stuff like that, a mountaintop, and you'll encounter different monsters, and you just kind of fight them as you go. That would be so amazing.
Oh, yeah, that sounds like it would be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
and because like Monster Hunter is already even like all of the older games, like it was never open world, obviously, but as Fraser was saying earlier, like with the farming and maintenance, like there was always like gathering and like getting like
foraging,
it always kind of had that survival aspect to it.
Yeah,
it's one of the games that I think could transition to open world the best, and surprisingly just hasn't taken that jump whereas like every other game has tried it.
Yeah,
and I think Monster Hunter is a game that could benefit the most from it.
They're very close when I think about it, because Monster Hunter World, those maps are so fucking big. And like I said, they're fully alive too. There's things happening that don't require you at all. They're just happening. Like it's living.
I love when like one group of enemies comes across another group of enemies, and then you just like, you're watching from the grass like, oh.
Yeah, like one of the monsters literally eats in the first map, and I think it's set up like this so that you see it. But you kind of walk out your first ever mission, and you see another monster eat something else. Like it just eats another monster and it swallows it whole. And it has nothing to do with you. You can engage with that, or you can just walk past it. It's so cool. It's like it's a living ecosystem. I love it. And if that was just the whole world, that'd be great.
Witcher 3 does it. Breath of the Wild does it. I think Ghost of Tsushima does it too. Like Elden Ring, it also happens. Like it's always a great mechanic.
It blows me away to see things just happening.
If you want dragons, you know, just roaming about, I came across an unfortunate place last night, and
oh no,
you know, I saw I'd like come out of like some keep or something, and I like saw this spiky tail, and I was like, is that a dragon? And I was like, if it is, it's huge. Like the tail was bigger than any of the other dragons that I'd seen so far. And I was like, oh, maybe it's like petrified, because like in the Temple of Dragon community, there was a petrified dragon. So I tried to jump on it, and then when I realized I couldn't jump on it, I was like, oh fuck, it's alive. and it was like sleeping, and I was like, oh, maybe it's just like too big to notice me, because it was huge.
Yeah,
you said the tail was bigger than any other dragon you saw.
You could very comfortably like just plop in its mouth and be fine, you know, and like you might survive. But like I like ran past it, and then it woke up, and then there were other like little baby dragons, which to my knowledge they were just regular dragons until that point. And then I realized, wait, the regular dragons are baby dragons. And there were like, and then it was just like a hillside of dragons, and I was like, I'm gonna die, and like I had to flee. And I'm just like Kevin was like, what are you supposed to do here? Like, what level are you supposed to be? How are you supposed to tackle this? Because there were at least 8 other dragons in addition to the big dragon.
Damn.
On that hill.
That's some end-game content.
I was like, what? But the crazy thing is, I don't even think it's end-game content. That's the crazy. So if that's what y'all want in Monster Hunter,
yes, that is what I want. That's exactly what I want.
Cool.
I want to be walking around, not know where the fuck I'm at, and then there's just like a sleeping Rathalos, and I don't even realize that behind the sleeping Rathalos is like fucking
children.
I don't know, some other shit.
Yeah, it would just be cool to see. You're in the jungle in the Rajang. It's just you just see him like going from tree to tree.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
And you know, there's no reason they can't do games like that now. You know, they like just
the technology's there.
I've been like the target audience for open world games forever. I remember playing Kingdom Hearts 2 as much as I love that game and saying, dude, imagine if they fused Kingdom Hearts and Zelda. You got a game like Zelda where you could just run around the whole world, but it plays like Kingdom Hearts, like Zelda with Kingdom Hearts combat. Like, how fucking crazy. And that's another thing, like, Kingdom Hearts doesn't have dungeons. Like, I enjoy dungeons and, like, the puzzles and everything in a dungeon.
Yeah.
It's like, imagine Zelda, an open world with dungeons and puzzles, but the combat is Kingdom Hearts. I was like, I don't need anything else.
That game be cracked. That game will be cracked.
Indeed.
But dungeons and tunnels are another good thing that Elden Ring does. Like one of my most unforgettable experiences in gaming was when I was playing Witcher 3. You go on like this side quest, and it involves going underground. You go into this tunnel. You had seen like a few entrances to tunnels, and like, you know, like people would say like, oh yeah, the elves built these tunnels and blah blah blah. They're ancient places. You go down in this side mission. It's like a whole thing. You go through the tunnel, and then you end up on the other side in a different part of the world. And I remember thinking, like, I looked at the map afterwards, and I saw where I ended up, and I saw where I started, and I was like, oh, that's so fucking cool. Because, like, the world actually exists underneath, like, where like this overworld that I'm riding on top of.
Right.
And I'll just, like, never forget that. And Elden Ring kind of does that in spades. There are plenty of tunnels that will lead you to other places, like that island. And there's this underground area. There's like pretty much this Underdark area that connects to like 5 different places, and at least. And it's like it's basically like a whole level on its own, but it's all seamless, you know. So like I just went in like this huge Underdark area, and then fucked around for like a few hours, and then found out. And then
Fucked around and found out.
No, I definitely found out. But no, I ended up like in another completely different part of the world, like from a different entrance, and I was like, that's so dope.
I love that about RPGs, by the way. Wandering somewhere you shouldn't be, and then finding out that you shouldn't be.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You always find out fast too. You get hit by one. you either it always happens in one of two ways. You either hit something for one, or you get hit for everything. And there's no in between. You either hit something and you do 1 damage, or you get hit and it says 9 across the screen. And you're like, whoa. Yep. One character got pieced, and you start running. You start holding L1 and L and R1.
Something I love about Xenoblade is Xenoblade's like open world RPG, and you run around, and all the enemies, all the monsters, there's no there's not like a battle transition. Like, you fight everything right there on the world. But you have sort of like an active time battle RPG system, but you fight everything actively, and it's just all right there, and you see all the monsters, and they all have levels over their head. Like, I want to say FF13, maybe I know for a fact FF12.
Yes.
But so anyway, I love it though, because in every area you can be walking around, you'll see like this monsters level 2 and level 7, whatever, and then they'll just be like a fucking dinosaur, and it's like level 84, and you're like, okay,
yeah, I love that about Xenoblade.
You're like, what the fuck? And
then
you
just all the levels are mingling.
It's just
I don't like that shit. I don't like that shit at all. Y'all talk about all the levels are mingling. Get the fuck out of here. Why are your level 84 ass over here with the level 2s and level 7s?
Oh, it's just because it's eating them. That's why.
It's fucked up. And also, Xenoblade has like these named monsters. So there'll be like a bunch of gorillas, right? And they'll just be like gorilla. And then there'll be like, and they're all level 30. Then there'll be like a boss gorilla that's like level 70. And his name will be like the Insatiable Gonzalez or something.
I love
it. It'll just have like a fucking name.
Why did this gorilla have a title?
How did he get that?
And you're like,
how did you get that?
The Insatiable Gonzalez.
How the fuck did you get that?
Because you remember that too. When you're level 70, you're like, oh, Insatiable Gonzalez is about to get it.
Yep,
you go
run
fucking
me
hunt
my
him down.
fade. That's
So,
great.
yeah, shit
RPGs
like that
have
is amazing.
That's the sauce. Remember how we always talk about the sauce?
Mm-hmm.
Certain stuff like that. What were you about to say, Anthony?
No, go ahead. You...
I was it's just like something about classic RPG feels, wandering somewhere and then finding out like I wasn't supposed to be here. Okay, it's fine. I got game over, or maybe 2 of my characters died, but I got out in a time to use, a Phoenix down on them in the open map, and then I can get the fuck away from that area. I love that.
Oh man,
yeah,
happens all the time.
Doesn't Pokemon Arceus, Legends Arceus also do that?
Legends Arceus. So it's
how'd you like that transition, by the way?
Yes.
It's interesting. So First of all, it's the first Pokemon game where if all your Pokemon faint, you don't like black out and go to the Pokemon Center. First of all, there are no Pokemon Centers. You like camp or whatever. Anyway, if all your Pokemon faint, you just don't have Pokemon, and you're just like
blacking out is wild. By the way, can we talk about how insane it is for a kid to black out?
Oh, yeah, a child of 10 blacking
Yeah,
out in
like
the woods.
blacking out is crazy.
I'll never forget. I was probably around 10 or 11 one time I blacked out. I got in trouble. I don't remember what I got in trouble for, but my dad was like yelling at me, and he's just like yelling at me, and I'm standing there, and I legit blacked out. Like I just fell out.
Yeah.
And I remember waking up like on my back, and like my stepmom waking me up and making sure I was okay. And my dad worried about me, like, oh, like, you okay? Get blah blah blah. And like after they were sure everything was okay, and I was like back, my dad was like, "Have you been doing drugs? Are you drinking?"
Yeah, like blacking out is crazy.
Immediately after I blacked out, he was like, "So why the fuck did you black out?" And I was like, "Dog, I don't know. maybe because you were yelling at me for 5 hours. I don't know." But anyway, you don't black out in Arceus unless you can take damage. It's something that's sick about it. The Pokemon out in the overworld will just attack you.
I saw a Snorlax body a whole team.
Yeah, like you can get. Oh,
yeah,
that's the other
out
thing.
there. You scrapping with wild animals.
Dog, the alpha Pokemon are strong as fuck. Like, very often do I have my Pokemon getting fainted, like more often than any other game. I'm not gonna say the game's hard, because that's not really the game's mission.
Yeah.
To be hard.
It's not trying to be difficult.
It is hard in other ways. Like, I've had my Pokemon faint, and I've had my resources get taxed in a way that hasn't really happened in any other Pokemon game in a really long time. And you just kind of like have to deal with shit, because you'll be out trying to like explore and hunt or whatever, and your Pokemon will start fainting, and you'll run out of revives, and you'll just get taxed on resources. You'll be out of Pokemon. When you're out of Pokemon, you can't defend yourself, and they'll just attack you. If you get attacked enough times, you black out, like your actual trainer. But yeah, it's really interesting. The game.
Are Pokemon fast? Like, can they chase you and shit?
Some of them are. Some of them aren't. But then, like, some of them are fucking tricky. Like, one of them shot this lightning ball at me, and, like, the lightning ball arcs up in the air. I'm like, all right, whatever. Like, I'm looking at the arc, and I'm like, I'm just moving back a little bit. I'm like, all right, that's not going to hit me. And then it just kind of changed and started homing. I was like, what the fuck?
Oh, shit.
It just, like, instead of arc, like, it was following an arc, and then it was like, whoop, and it just started, like, homing toward me. I was like, wait a second. When I attack, my Pokemon moves don't do that.
Right.
Trick shot.
So yeah, and then some of them will run like, some of them are crazy fast. Some of them are just kind of slow or do whatever. But
I fully saw a Snorlax do a Hyper Beam on a Squirtle, and I was like, okay, like
yeah, the Snorlax will Hyper Beam you. Okay,
oh, shit.
Yeah, like the Snorlax will Hyper Beam you. If, what I mean, you fuck around and find out. And it's cool because they're really strong too. Like, you can run into that Snorlax in the beginning of the game when your Pokemon are like level 6, and that Snorlax is like level 45.
Seeing like a Snorlax, an Alpha Snorlax in Arceus really is kind of like, for the first time, was a very humbling experience, because it really made you realize, like way back when you had to use the Poke Flute to wake up the Snorlax, and you realize how your life was actually just on the line. Because like Snorlax could have woken up and just eaten you. Like, in real life, if Pokemon existed, Snorlax would eat children.
Oh, yeah.
No
problem.
And
not even know that it did it.
And, like, imagine you just see, like, a Snorlax out in the wild. What do you think is, like, what that Pokemon does. Like, what the Pokedex entry says
What the fuck is a Snorlax?
I think it's supposed to be
it's a child.
I want to guess like a bear. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, it's hungry. That's what it is.
Cute. I don't know what
something
it is,
else. The game. Now, I don't know if this is a real mechanic or if it's coincidence, but I was up on like a coast fighting like these Shellos for like a mission that I had, and so I killed like a bunch of Shellos, which is like
here we go fighting the fucking crabs with the club.
So I'm fighting them, but then I saw no Gastrodon, which is the evolution of Shellos. No Gastrodon. I'm fighting a bunch of them, and then at some point a Gastrodon just spawns, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Like maybe it's a rare spawn. But then all of a sudden on the beach was like 4 or 5 Gastrodon. And I was like, what the fuck? And I was wondering if the fact that I killed so many Shellos, it caused the Gastrodon to start coming out. Like it caused the evolutions to start spawning or some shit. Like, I don't know. It was really interesting.
what would be even more interesting is if, like, as you're killing the Shellos, they just start evolving into the
In front of me?
Gastronauts.
Oh my god, that would be so
Just imagine,
crazy.
imagine how terrifying that is. You're like, all right, I'm gonna kill all these Weedles, and then they're just Beedrills coming after you. You're like, wait, I was kidding. I was
Fucked
just
up.
joking.
That's how it goes too. Ash almost died in the first episode.
On that note, though, like, you know, it looks like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is taking a lot from Legends Arceus, which is what I would hope the next generation of Pokemon would do, and really expanding upon it. Like, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet look to be a fully open world game that'll have the cities and the badges. So it's a traditional Pokemon game, but it's fully open world. You can explore it and shit. And
So no other
they do
Pokemon
it
game
right.
has been fully open world like that. Like the previous Sword and Shield weren't like that.
Sword and Shield is terrible.
Okay, all right. You've said that
Sword,
multiple times now on this podcast. So
Sword and Shield it is so jank. So it's got like the normal areas, like the normal routes. Everything's just like a hallway. Like you have like your hallway routes that will hallway into a city, and then like you're in like a little city, and then you can like hallway into a route, and then hallway into a cave, and then even the caves are just hallways. Like I remember in Red and Blue, going in Mount Moon as an adult. Mount Moon's not too complicated, but especially as a kid or just your first time, I've played Red and Blue 30,000 times, so maybe I just played it 30,000 times. But Mount Moon is an open area. You go into that cave and it's open. You can go left, right, up, down.
yep.
You can go wherever you want. There's multiple ladders to go in different spots in Mount Moon. The first like cave in Sword and Shield is literally just a hallway. Like you just hallway through it and then you're at the other end of the cave. Like there's not exploring the cave. It doesn't open up. The routes are all hallways. It doesn't feel like even technically in Red and Blue, the routes were hallways, but they felt like you could go in different directions.
Well, I'll say
and look
this:
for
I posted a
secrets.
meme last night. It said, "I went through the rock tunnel on Pokemon without Flash when I was 7. We are not the same."
Yo, for real,
Yeah,
that's
I
it.
saw
Like
that.
Rock Tunnel is in a hall. Like that is a confusing,
Yeah,
little area,
you can
especially if you
get.
don't have Flash, and
I
the
would
game
say
doesn't
you
just
can
give
get
you Flash.
lost for real.
Yeah, I've gone through Rock Tunnel. I mean, many people have done this. You go in Rock Tunnel, you just kind of get lost. You think you're making progress. You go through a thing. You're like, "Holy shit, I found the exit!" And then like you're at the beginning of Rock
Yep.
Tunnel, and you're like, "Oh,
And you
okay."
fought. Also, don't forget the 100 Zubats that you've killed throughout
Yeah,
this entire thing.
but in Sword and Shield, it's all hallways, and then the open world, in air quotes, the open world part is a fucking golf course. Like, it's this little area that's the designated open world area that you can run around in, and the Pokemon are like open world spawn. But it feels like a golf course. It's like, here's like a little area, a designated area, and it's like, here, it's a cool little
Okay,
golf course.
so it's
This is
not.
the sand. This is this, like, you'll be in a grassy area, and you'll take 2 steps forward, and you're in a desert. And it's like, okay. Like it's fucking stupid.
Yeah, there's no transition or anything. That's kind of
Yeah, and the weather will transition on a dime. You'll be standing in like a spot because there'll be random weather. You'll be standing in a spot and like it's clear skies. Then you take 4 steps to the right, and like the game has like an invisible line somewhere that says this is a different area. And then all of a sudden, 4 steps to the right, it's snowing. And like the
Yeah.
snow wasn't there 3 seconds ago. You couldn't see the snow, but then you walked 4 steps and it's snowing. And then you walk 4 steps backwards and the snow's gone. It's really janky.
Kind of reminds me of the end of Bravely Default 2, where you go into like that one area where it's all of the different areas throughout the game.
Yeah, but that felt like it was designed to be that.
It was designed to be that. That's why it didn't feel janky to us. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't them trying to say, "Hey, look at this open world cool shit." It was like, no, we intended it to be every elemental area that you've been through in one big area.
But this game
is truly open world. Okay,
looks like it's a real open world game. It's not gonna have those problems because Pokemon Legends Arceus is an open world game with a small asterisk in that it's kind of like Monster Hunter, where it's open world in that you go into, you pick the volcano map and you explore this pretty huge fucking area.
Okay.
But there's like a main hub and you pick which
that
huge
is
area you want to explore.
So it's not, that's not open world completely. It's like you said, you load into an area at the end of the day.
Yeah, you load into an area, and then once you load it in, it feels fully like an open world game.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. But you do pick an area to load.
Yeah, you can't walk from the volcano map to the beach map or whatever.
No, you can't. You can't.
In that sense, I hope that this game is very like Breath of the Wild, and not that Breath of the Wild is the only game that does this, because it isn't. But there's like a very particular way you have to design an open world game in order to make that work properly. Because like when you boot up Breath of the Wild, they specifically put you in the middle of the map, facing like these very interesting, visually interesting looking things, so that you just naturally want to go toward them. Like in the middle of the world is like, okay, so before all that, you see the dueling peaks, and then past it you see Death Mountain, and you're like, oh shit, there's a volcano there. Imagine you know nothing about Zelda, and you're like, there's a fucking volcano, and there's something crawling on that volcano. What? But like you're like, I want to go to there, and you can. You don't have to load in anything. You can just walk there in a sense.
Yeah.
And then always in the center of the world, no matter where you go, you always see Hyrule Castle, just reminding you that that is where the end of the game is. Great design. Like I like heard in school once that there's like a specific way that architects like they think about buildings. Like when they place a building in a city, they think about how it visually looks from all angles, like from street angle or like top down or whatever, because like there has to be like a certain like a certain like what's the word I'm looking for, like quality to the visual of how you're seeing this building, because you see a building and you're like, oh, that's a pretty building, and you just instinctually want to walk toward it because it's a pretty building. In the same way that it's like that. And Elden Ring also does that, because like there is this giant tree in the middle of, well, toward the top of the map called the Air Tree, and you kind of just want to go there. You can't, but you're just kind of drawn towards going toward it. Or you like see a cathedral on like a cliff far off, and you're like, I want to go there.
Yeah.
And that's why I said like I haven't enjoyed a game this much since Breath of the Wild, because like I have that same feeling where like I see something and I'm like, I want to go there.
Yeah,
The last
the game
night
does
I
a
was
good
supposed-
job of baiting you into going to the places.
Yeah, I was supposed to go to this cave last night. I never made it. It's marked on my map. I never made it to the cave.
That's
There's
amazing,
too
though.
much
That's the best part about a good open world game, is when you're playing the game and you're like, holy shit, I want to go there. And then in the process of going there, you spend the next 7 hours not getting there.
Yep.
Because you just get sidetracked by all these other things.
That's what's happening to me in God of War. Like the God of War PS4 game. I've gotten sidetracked on my boat so many times. Like, I want to go here. I know I set out to go here. I'm in my boat with my son. And then I see some other shit.
Yep.
And next thing I know, I'm on an island with a ghost who's telling me, like, some fucking dead guy who's like, yo, if you go around and collect these things, I'm going to help you out. I know you want some help. And I'm like, God damn it, I do want some help, though.
So I hope that Violet and Scarlet do that, and it's not like a hub thing. I hope
it looks good.
Like, from the city you see something and you can just go there.
Yeah, so when I played Arceus, and this is what I really hope Scarlet and Violet do, is when I played Arceus, there was a moment where I was like, through all of my complaints, through all the things that kind of frustrated me about the game, I was like, this is the Pokemon game I've wanted. I want a game where like I'm in the Pokemon world and I can run around and crouch in the tall grass and like be taken. Like when I think it's X and Y, where you go into the one city, it's like France, and it's got the Eiffel Tower and everything. And in that game, it's still kind of a faux 3D, 2D game. And you go in there and it's like, I imagine, what if this was a full real 3D game where I have real control of a camera and I could just walk through this city in a you know what I mean? Like, I want to be in the alleyways and in the buildings and shit, and see a fucking grimer and a trash can.
Can you imagine how crazy that would be? Because like the one thing that is truly missing from Breath of the Wild, except for underwater exploration,
is like a city.
There's no actual city. Imagine like
because it's an apocalypse world. Like everything's been destroyed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want like a city. Like I want to go in and be able to move my camera in the fucking city and walk around and explore. And I'm hoping Scarlet and Violet does that. There's no hub world. You can kind of go wherever, and while you're running around, you can see the next city in the distance and get sidetracked and be like,
I want exactly what you're talking about. I want to be able to walk from, let's say, Cerulean City to Pallet Town. I want to be able to like walk from one to the other with transitions that make sense in between. It goes from day to night. You might go tall grasses. It might rain, that type of thing. But I don't want there to be load screens in between. I just want it to be an ecosystem that's living. Pokemon come out seamless, and I want Pokemon to come out at nighttime that makes sense. I want Pokemon to come out at daytime that makes sense, and Pokemon to come out at only specific times that make sense.
Imagine during a full moon, you just see like a gaggle of Clefairy. Just
so fucking
you
cool.
just find them in a meadow somewhere. But you know what would actually be really dope in this game? So like you have this open world, right? And you can go wherever you want. However, you still have the routes. You still have like route 2 or whatever.
Yeah.
And like going along the route, you like fight Pokemon trainers like you normally would.
Is
you don't have
Pokemon.
you don't have to take the route. You can just completely sideskip the route and go through the woods. But going through the woods, you might come across like more dangerous Pokemon that might just
because the route that's the route that everybody takes. This is the route that has been established. This is the safe way. This is the road that you can go on. But you can go, and it kind of would open up the world of Pokemon where it's like all of the games have all of this land, but you always just go on the route because that's what makes sense. But now you can go off and into the meadow and into the forest and into all these other places.
Now, what's the combat like in Legends Arceus?
It's pretty cool. I mean, it's Pokemon combat, but it's cool in that it's seamless. Like, you're running around, and the Pokemon can attack you, and I don't think it's going to be that way in Scarlet, unfortunately. The Pokemon can attack you, and you throw your Pokemon out, and the battle just starts right where you're standing. And your Pokemon come out, you guys just start fighting, and then your character can still like run around and do shit while your Pokemon are fighting, which creates some interesting things. Like, for example, let's say I go to fight a wild Pokemon, and I just kill it, and I know that I want to kill it. I can then just start running to go to my next destination while waiting for that guy to die, and then as soon as my Pokemon kills him, he'll go back in the Pokeball and just come back to me, and I'm already on the move to the next place I want to go, which is pretty cool. But I don't know if Scarlet and Violet's going to do that. There's no way for me to know. Another thing is the combat is like FF10 in that instead of a normal Pokemon game, I pick your move, and then you or the computer picks the move, and then whichever Pokemon has a higher speed stat goes first. The way it works in this is there is a little menu of the turn order, and it'll say like Charmander, Squirtle, Charmander, Squirtle, Charmander, Squirtle, right? And that'll be the turn order. But if I use Quick Attack, instead of Quick Attack functioning the way it does in normal Pokemon, where Quick Attack means you always go first, Quick Attack gives you a higher like speed value, where if you can do your speed, some moves are like slower moves, some moves are faster moves. You can set up to where like your Pokemon might end up taking 2 moves in a row.
Yeah.
If you use like a really strong move that's kind of slow, you'll do that, but then they'll take 2 moves in a row.
Yeah, it's essentially like a queue. Like there's like a battle queue or something.
Yeah,
it's like Final Fantasy X did that too.
Yeah,
it reminds me a lot of 10.
Yeah, what you're describing sounds exactly like 10, because there were, for example, Waka had like a quick shot, and it would make him kind of jump the fucking. You would see it if you hovered over that icon for a quick shot. It actually would move his face would go all the way to the top of the thing.
Yep,
it's like he's going next now.
You know, I played that game 2 times before realizing that's what that was for.
Like that thing on the side?
Yeah. I was like, what is that? You know, I just kind of ignored it. And then like later I was like, oh, Titus is a god. Okay, that's what it means.
Yeah, I realized I probably realized like halfway through my first playthrough. Yeah.
When I first played it, I was 10. I didn't know how to properly use it. So there's that. Like I had no idea how to properly utilize, because like you want to end the battle where your enemies get less turns, right? Like that's the goal.
Yeah.
So if you could be like, oh, he's about to get a turn, but I can just use my quick attack and he'll just die, and that's the end of the battle. You could, cheese it out.
Also, something that no one ever talks about. No one ever talks about this, but back in those days when we were connecting consoles via AV wires to 480 display resolutions, sometimes you just couldn't see all of that. Like you couldn't just make all that information out.
Yeah, that's true.
I will never forget when I was like, I had my PlayStation 3 connected AV wire to like a CRT, and I was playing I was playing Resident Evil 5, and I was playing it with Izzy co-op. And then I got my first like actual like flat screen TV, and I connected it HDMI, and like we would call each other on the phone and like co-op before, they did Discord and all that shit. And like I connected it, and I like called him and I was like, oh shit, Izzy, I can see. I was like, I can see like the menus.
Yeah.
Like, this is wild. Why didn't I do this before? And I was like, wow, I can actually be good at the game now.
Yeah, you're like, this HUD is actually kind of crazy.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit, that's what that says. Oh shit, his name's Leon. Okay, I
Not
get
his
it.
name is Leon.
I can read it.
Not his name is Leon, no.
But like no one talks about that. Like no one, like everyone just kind of forgets it.
There was a time where you couldn't see that shit.
And we couldn't see. Yeah.
What do you guys think about these starters? So we got a Duck. I'm Team Duck. So Duck Dynasty. I staked my claim today on Facebook. You know, Duck Dynasty Rise Up. I'm all for this water starter. I started out playing Pokemon Blue. That was the one I chose. So I am actually going to play this Pokemon game. I'm saying it right now. I'm actually legitimately going to play it. I don't know if I'm going to finish it, but I'm going to legitimately play it because I haven't played Pokemon in so long, and I just want to.
Looks like a good one to try.
Yeah,
looks like a good one to try. The Duck looks cool. I'm going to be honest, and I've seen. This is not a hot take. People on the internet just like to hate. I've seen so many people hate on these starters, and so before I didn't watch this
every time I feel like
I didn't watch this when it first aired, just because I was doing shit. I watched it like late. Before watching it though, I heard so many people bitch about the way the starters look, and so I was like, whatever, get myself ready. I watch it, and they show the starters at the end, and I was just kind of taken aback because I was kind of ready to be like, this is they're probably gonna look so stupid. And then I saw them and I was like, holy shit, I really like the way all three of them look. Like they look like good designs to me.
Yeah.
I legitimately like all three of them, the grass, the fire, and the water one. I like the water Duck. It's kind of has like this confidence, this posture.
Yeah, he got really one hand on his hip and the other hand pointed out.
Yeah. Like he's cool. And then the grass starter, the cat, like it looks like this bubbly little like hyperactive cat, and then the fire starter just looks like a doofus.
I love the fire starter because he's like an apple.
Yeah, he just looks like this.
Like an apple.
Yeah, because look at his head. He actually is. I think he's meant to be an apple. Which and people have speculated that maybe he's going to be fire grass at his last form or something, because like that would give him immunity to like ground and stuff like that, and
yeah.
Just all time, but like because he has the little sprouts from the apple. His face is literally the front of an apple, and he's I guess an alligator, but he could end up becoming a T-Rex. I don't know. You know what I love?
But also like if his mouth is closed, he would look like if you'd taken a bite out of an apple.
Yes. Now, what I will say is that just before we we're gonna talk about this some more, but one of the things I love about when a new Pokemon game is announced and the starters come out, I love what the internet does where they start making up shit. And you guys know what I'm talking about. They start making up their evolutions. This is one of my favorite times before their official versions come out. I love seeing what people come up with. Because some of them look real.
Seeing how wrong some of them got it.
They get so wrong.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing I've seen is like everyone wondering, or everyone kind of requesting, can we keep the cat on 4 legs this time, please?
Dude, I will never forget. Every game I start with the fire starter, right? I think except Gold and Silver, when my very first time I picked Totodile.
I was a Feraligatr person as well.
Totodile is so dope.
Yes.
But other than that, I've always started fire. So anyway, fucking Litten in Sun and Moon. Litten, it's this like pretty cool looking little black cat with like red stripes. And then it evolves into Torracat, which is like this other fire cat, and like it has like a bell on its neck, but the bell's made of fire. It's like pretty cute. It's like, oh, that makes sense. And also he's like a pretty vicious looking cat. And then it evolves again into Incineroar. And it's a fucking WWE John Cena wrestler.
Yeah.
With a championship belt on its waist. Where did we go?
Yeah.
How'd I go from just a cat to a goddamn suplexing wrestler?
You know what that was? That was a Digivolution.
That's what I was about to say. I was thinking the same thing.
Digivolved.
I was thinking the same thing. There was a meme that said Digimon evolutions be like, and it was just like a little Patamon or something. and it became a fucking jet plane with missiles and shit. And it was just like that had nothing to do with what it was before.
Oh, look, you were a marshmallow. Oh, now you're a cactus. Wait, now you're a jet engine?
Yeah, like I'm not. Now you're
I love
Force?
Digimon. I love Digimon.
Me
But their
too.
Digivolutions are
They are wild,
wild.
to say the least.
I just really hope. I'm also just tired of humanoid starters in general. Like in Sword and Shield, this is something that I fucking hate about it. All of the starters have jobs. I don't understand why they all have jobs.
What do you mean by that?
The fire starter is a soccer player. Like it is
real life.
Yeah, the fire starter is a soccer. It's a soccer playing rabbit. The grass starter is a gorilla with a drum set.
It's true. He's
the water starter is a chameleon that's a secret agent. It's a
what is going on?
Like they all have it's a spy, a soccer player, and a fucking drummer. That's what they are. It's so fucking
and a fucking tuning.
It's so goddamn dumb, and they just look stupid. Like I don't like the way they look at all. Like they just look like shit. They're some of the worst starters of any generation.
I cannot wait to see what these evolve into. I am so excited. I'm actually most excited for the fire one. I really want to know because does Pokemon have a really big, scary looking T-Rex yet?
We've got T-Rexes. We've got Rampart. Well, no, Rampardos isn't a T-Rex. We've got what's his name?
Tyranitar would kind of be considered.
Tyrantrum. Yeah, no, Tyrantrum. There's a Pokemon named Tyrantrum. It evolves from Tyron. Tyrantrum is a legit T-Rex.
Okay.
But the Japanese classification for these are duckling, grass cat or kitten,
and crocodile,
and it's like fire crocodile or something, or fire croc.
Yeah. But we've had a crocodile, or I guess for alligators, an alligator, not a crocodile, but whatever.
Yeah. I mean, we've had, Litten's a fire cat, so this is a grass cat.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna run out of animals. At this point, we're grasping.
And so I don't mind them repeating animals at all. Yeah. Also, I want to say people are complaining like, oh my god, like it's just Litten but green. I don't know if you guys have looked at it. They don't look anything alike.
They just don't look alike at all.
Other than the fact that they're both cats, they don't look anything alike.
People act like there's only one type of cat. In real life, cats don't even look alike. There's so many different types of cats.
It's a pretty slender cat, and this one's like a floofy cat.
They look similar in the fact that they're cats. Yeah, but they don't
like
look
me and
alike
you are human. Like Kenny, we're both human. Like,
we both got a nose and ears. But like we're not the same. So it's really silly. That said, I hope it doesn't evolve into like a fucking tennis player. I hope.
Imagine.
I hope it just stays a fucking.
I think this duck is going to be a cop. I'm calling it now. I think the duck is a cop.
It would be actually fire.
The duck is a cop.
That's why it's blue. Blue lives matter.
Yo, there you go. I think the duck is a cop. I'm telling you right now.
Message.
He's got cop swagger. The way he's standing.
Look at him.
His little cop hat. He's got like a cop hat.
I'm telling you, he's a fucking cop.
He's got cop swagger. To a snitch.
I'm telling you right now. This little fucker is going to be a cop, and no one's going to be ready for it.
Oh,
he's going to have a badge. In his last form, he's going to have a little badge.
And Game Freak's going to be like, we did good, right? We did good.
He's going to have a little walkie-talkie.
So good.
Man. So who's everyone? Okay, well, I mean, I when I first saw them, I don't dislike any of them, but none of them speak to me.
The duck speaks to me.
One speaks to me.
So I really like all three of them a lot, actually. But for two things, one, I almost always pick the fire starter, so I'm going to be picking the fire starter number one. But number two, I love how goofy he looks. So goddamn.
He looks derpy as fuck.
I have this suspicion that fire starter is going to have the craziest evolutions. And he's going to look vicious at the end.
I hope
because like last generation Sword and Shield, none of them spoke to me except for Grookey. I love Grookey, even though Grookey's cool. Even though Grookey's in a band, I love Grookey. He is one of my favorite starter designs in a while.
Yeah,
right. Because I didn't like the one before.
Grookey was fine,
and then Grookey evolved. And I was like, oh. And then he evolved, and I was like, okay, maybe his final form. Because, like, I love Chespin. I don't love his middle form, but I like the way Chestnut looks. So I was like, okay, well, maybe like the final evolution. But no, the final evolution just even uglier. I don't even know what their names are.
So Rillaboom is which is all I think a great name, like a gorilla and that is like drums, and his name is Rillaboom. I think it's a really good name. Here's my problem: it literally has a fucking drum set. Like the Pokemon has a whole drum set in front of it, and fucking things to pound the drum with. Like, look at it; looks fucking stupid. Type in Rillaboom; it carries around the drum set. It is so dumb. Like, I'm fine with Pokemon carrying things. Cubone and Marowak have a bone.
He
Had like the little
looks
twig.
pretty intimidating though.
Yeah, but he has a drum set, and I hate the fact that he has a drum set, like so fucking much.
I guess like the evolutions of the starters, especially in the past few generations, have. Why does this one have titty? Anyway, but like the evolutions haven't. Why is that one a Super Saiyan?
This is what I love about the internet. This right here is everything I love about the internet, because look at my man in Super Saiyan 3. If you're watching this on Patreon, we have Rillaboom, and somebody did some fan art to Rillaboom and made him into Super Saiyan 3 Goku, and he looks wild.
He does. But look, so here's my problem, right? Rillaboom, if you take the concept, right? Let's say you're designing this game and you go, okay, grass gorilla that like drums, right? Okay. Fucking Steve comes in and goes, how about we give him a drum set? And then Steve gets fired. And then you go, oh.
And Steve gets fired.
And then you go, oh, what if like his pecs are like wooden, like these wooden pecs?
Oh, that would be cool.
And he beats on his chest.
Oh, that would be so
He beats on his chest because gorillas already fucking do that.
Yes.
And so he drums on his chest. Isn't that such a way better idea? Like,
you should work for the Pokemon Company.
They already beat their chest. He doesn't need a drum set.
No, you're right.
He's got his chest.
You're absolutely right, Kenny.
He's in the meeting ranting about this, and they're like, "No, I like the drum set idea."
I hate them for that.
Like, they were so close.
But we kind of like the drum set idea.
You know that there was someone that was like, someone's like, oh yeah, beat on the drum, and they're like, oh yeah, he could just beat on his chest, right? Like, because girl, and they're like,
we were kind of
like,
really.
Yeah, but we're really married to the idea of the drum set. We really like the
brings
idea.
the beat.
But like, I feel like the past few generations of starters evolutions have been they felt very disjointed, because like, okay, you got Grookey. Okay, I look at Grookey. I like Grookey for the reasons that I like Grookey, just visually appealing to me. And then he evolves into Thwacky, and Thwacky, I don't like him as much as Grookey, but I'm like, I still like him. And then Rillaboom, like visually, I'm just like, what? Like, it just doesn't look, it's just not the same vibe. It's not the same aesthetic. And that's just been all of them for a while.
The one evolves into a fucking fire witch.
Dude, Delphox. I hate, so for example, in X and Y, Fennekin is like, I started with Fennekin, it's like this cute little fire fox, and I really love the way Fennekin looks. And then it evolves into Braxian. And I was like, okay, I already don't like this. Because it's standing on two fucking legs. It has like,
it's got a skirt.
It's got like a fucking skirt, like a fur skirt. And I was like, okay, well, now everybody's jerking off to this fucking thing. Like there's a bunch of people jerking off to it all. And then it evolves into Delphox. And I'm like, why couldn't I just have is it so much to ask for like the four-legged animals to just stay on four legs? Yes. Like, just let them stay on, like, all of the fire starters after. So you have Charizard, Typhlosion, which are like Typhlosion's not humanoid. You cannot call him humanoid. He stands on two legs, but he can also go off whatever. You have Charizard and Typhlosion. Then you have Blaziken, and it's like Blaziken's kind of a departure. I don't really, whatever. And then you have Infernape. Infernape's fine. He's a monkey, right? Monkey, cool. And he pulls it off. He's also based off Sun Wukong, the Monkey King. All right. But then we have Emboar. It's a pig. It's another wrestler. It's a fucking wrestling pig on two legs. And then you have Delphox, which is a witch fox on 2 legs. Like they're all humanoid, and then you have Incineroar, which is another fucking wrestler, but it's a cat on 2 legs.
Something about Incineroar creeps me out. I'm gonna just throw that out there. Just continue.
Yeah, and then we have fucking Cinderace, which is a soccer playing rabbit, and I'm like, can I just get a fire starter that isn't a human? Like,
yeah,
I'm tired
like
of
what
these
happened to where they were dragons and shit like that?
Yeah.
Also,
I hope she doesn't evolve into a tennis player.
For real. Please don't evolve into a tennis player.
Delphox. So Delphox is actually cool to me, like looking. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of because it's like a mage. But I don't think that starter should have became this. Is the problem for me.
My other problem is
I like the idea.
Me too. I like the idea.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, the idea of those 3 starters were like the classic RPG classes. You're supposed to have the rogue, which is Greninja. Yep. You're supposed to have the mage, that was Delphox, and then you had the fighter, that was Chestnut. I thought that was, and like it was reflected in their typing. I was like, finally, not a fire fighting, fire psychic. That's actually pretty cool. Yeah. Grass fighting, you usually don't get that. Water dark, you never get that. And then he can become whatever type he wants, actually. But
he got a little out of hand.
But really,
I actually don't think he's water dark. I think he's just water, and part of him being a rogue is that he can change his type. He might not be water dark.
No, I thought that was only like his ability. His what's it called?
Yeah, it is his ability, but I think he's pure water. Actually,
I'll just look it up. You guys keep talking.
But anyway, I agree.
He is dark water.
Oh, he is dark water. Okay, cool.
Yeah, his special ability allows him to change
his
Yeah, he's water dark.
The fact that they're RPG themed and all, like I think all that's cool. I also think Delphox on her own looks cool. For me, it's one of those
transition.
No, it's not just the transition. It's exhaustion, and that every fucking fire starter is a person. Like after Charizard and Typhlosion, they all are fucking people. Like
that is a wild sentence. Everyone is a person.
Blaziken's a fucking kickboxer.
Yeah.
Emboar is like a fat wrestler. Yeah. Delphox is a mage. Incineroar is another wrestler. Cinderace is a soccer player. It's like, can I get like just a fucking lizard? Like, can I just get like
what happened? What happened to Ninetales?
Yeah.
Yeah,
they could have gone on like a really cool because like they already have Ninetales, but they could have really gone in like a very like Japanese folklore direction with Delphox.
A fucking QB, that would be nice.
Like a QB would have been dope.
Yeah,
but she had to have a staff, I guess.
Yeah. It's interesting. I wonder what the theme is for these ones. By looking at them, I can't tell yet, and the fire one is so derpy. I have a weird feeling.
I don't want them to have jobs.
I hope that they don't have jobs. Right now, I do think that the water one's going to be a cop. I'm sorry to say. I do think that he's going to have an occupation.
All right. So we got a cop, a tennis player, and what's the fire one?
I don't even know. What's a firefighter, maybe?
No. He's going to be like, he's just going to be like,
what if that's it? What if it's a cop, a firefighter, and like a medic? Like the fucking... Somehow the middle one, the grass one, just becomes a fucking medic. Like, I'm sorry to tell you, but it's a medic.
I'm here for this Pokemon deep lore. I'm here for it.
I think it's going to be a cop, a medic, and a firefighter. I'm throwing it out right now.
You can't fight fire with fire. That's not how it works.
But he does. That's
Look at how derpy he is.
Yeah,
Tell him that.
So derpy.
Tell him that.
Dude, I would love for him to just be like this really vicious looking crocodile or something. You know what I mean? And for the cat to be like a panther or, you know what I mean? Like, or a saber-toothed tiger. I don't think there's a saber-toothed tiger Pokemon. If it grows to be like...
It's a legendary Pokemon.
Oh, Raikou?
Yeah.
Maybe
they're
Raikou?
They're saber-toothed. They have the fucking...
Yeah.
Like, they're not just a saber-toothed. They're a mix, of course. They're like a Manicore. They're Manicores, basically.
Yeah. But... like,
I guess if you want a traditional straight up saber-tooth and it's nothing else, not some fucking a storm cloud on its back and all that.
Yeah, I just want it to be
Power Ranger saber-tooth.
I just want it to be a cat. And this duck, he's already got so much personality, so he might have a job.
My man is Big Kenneth Delgado.
That duck has so much
I'm naming him Kenneth.
Hell yeah.
He already has the hat. He already has the hat.
He does.
Oh man.
So wait,
Now
Ant,
that
do you
you
think
said
you're
it,
picking the?
I can't unsee the cop.
You see it, right? You
Yeah,
see it.
like he's got the hat and
you
everything,
see
and
it.
he's like just like, yeah. What are you doing?
Yeah, where were you on a night of fucking February 23rd?
Oh shit!
Where the fuck were you at, huh?
Yo,
Where
my
were you
man
at?
is all up in your fucking business.
He
Yeah,
really
he's
is.
very nosy.
He really is. But so Ant, do you think you're picking the grass one?
I don't know which one.
None
Like
of
I
them
said,
speak to him yet.
none of them speak to me. They've grown on me. Like, like I'm like, oh, they're
So
all cute.
we'll know their final evos before they come out. I don't know if you guys are into that. Like Kenny, I don't know if you're into that, but
I try my best to avoid it. I try my.
it just
Sometimes it's
pops up on my
unavoidable.
timeline on Facebook. I'm not gonna lie. It's just gonna pop up one
Yeah.
day. One day I'm gonna be scrolling.
Honestly, the final evolutions are gonna be the deciding factor.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Like honestly, at the end of the day, once I see those final evolutions, granted, we're gonna go through 7 or 8 fake ones, and some of them will look cool too. Like I'm not gonna lie, some people on Reddit they go ham and they look amazing, and it's like I hope that's what it is. And then obviously you get the real one. I was like, okay, that's
honestly, I might draw them as their jobs. I might draw the duck as a cop and the cat as a tennis player. Just put my bid in. Put my bid in for the evolutions.
Oh
the
man,
evolution guesses.
Why does the fire one have a patch on its chest? I have so many questions for the fire app, like the apple.
Yeah, people were saying it's like a slice of Kraft cheese.
Oh, because apples and cheese, yeah, people do like that.
Wait, what? Apples and cheese? People do that?
People, yeah, when they serve those little trays of like fruit and cheese and shit, people like that.
Oh, like a charcuterie board?
Yeah, like that kind of weird shit.
Charcuterie board.
I hate that word. That word is so white.
That's probably a French word.
That is a fucking Caucasian. That is a Caucasian word. Charcuterie. That is from the Caucasus Mountains. My charcuterie.
I thought you were saying like people eat apples with like slices of cheese on them, and I was like, who are these people?
Those are terrorists. There is a name for them. There is, like, they do have a name.
If I saw someone just eating a slice of American cheese on top of an apple, I would just
I would call the authorities immediately. There is a loose cannon here.
There is a loose
He's threatening me right now, Your Honor. Kenny, you said something about this Pokemon being based on like Spain or Portugal or something like that.
Yeah, so just if you look at the
unofficially,
the trailer,
obviously, like you said, they're not
currently unofficially, but if you look at the trailer, the architecture, the way like the houses look, and the way the characters are dressed, kind of looks like Spain.
Yeah.
But on top of that, the map. Now I didn't find this or point this out, but I've read other people point it out.
You know the
map, the world map looks like Spain, looks inspired by Spain.
Okay.
In addition to that, every Pokemon game after Gen 4 has been inspired by a place. So 1, 2, 3, 4 are all Japan. They're all based on regions of Japan blown up. After that, Gen 5 is based off of this weird United States. Well, it's like a mix of United States, but also like medieval England. It's like this weird mix of the U.S. and medieval England is Gen 5. Yeah. Gen 6 is, I want to say, France. Gen 7 is Hawaii.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gen 7 is Hawaii, I think. And then Gen 8 is the UK. And then so this game, it stands to reason it's going to be based off of a place.
Oh, I can't wait until Gen 10 when it's like Russia. And you get fucking Putin the Pokemon.
All right. Well.
Putin the Pokemon.
Well.
That's his name, Putin the Pokemon.
Well, there's that.
And you know what? By Generation 10, we still won't have one based on any African region.
Oh, absolutely not.
It'll be every other country.
They will not touch. They will not touch Africa. They are fucking afraid. You know how scary it's gonna be to draw black people in this game? Like to put predominantly black people have to have them all different shapes and sizes.
Man.
Oh, the cancel culture is coming for them hard because we don't have a problem with it, Anthony. Like I would love an African-based Pokemon game where it is like a real Safari Zone. You know what I mean? But like
I want because like
can we get an elephant starter?
Look,
I try to.
I'm going to be honest. I was saying this on Discord the other day. I don't think it's that far-fetched. I think because every Pokemon generation, they're doing a different region of the world, it's only a matter of time before they do Africa. And it'd be dope as hell. The starters like an elephant, a lion, and I don't know what the third one would be. I got elephant and lion. A giraffe.
Sure,
Like,
that's something that's from
No,
Yeah.
it would be like an elephant, a lion, and like a meerkat. That would actually be kind of cool. Something small and fast.
Yeah, I whatever they do, it should be fucking fun. Even if it's a Black Panther, like I am here for it. I would be very. I guess Black Panther would be very on the nose, but I would be here for an African.
That's like saying, even if it's a black guy.
But here's the thing, though.
Well, but what's his job? But what's his job, though?
Oh,
but what's his job?
I don't know. He's a cop.
This is the territory we're going in. We're treading into fucking cancel waters. Once we start asking what's the black guy's job, okay, we're getting very close.
Honestly, Africa's very underutilized in like the fantasy world.
It is.
Like, there's cool. There's like African cultures have like really cool folklore.
They're just afraid to touch it. I think that Japan has had because they it's known Japan has had a bad history depicting black people, and so it's one of those things that is very touchy, and it could go south if they don't do it right. I think that the most important thing to do would be to have actual black people involved in some way in the design of the NPCs, if you're going to be in Africa or Africa-based.
The thing that's frustrating about that, though, is even when you have, because of the way cancel culture works, like you just said, you were like, Fraser was saying, like, me and Anthony would love it, blah, blah, blah. But the white women on Twitter, no matter how good it is, are going to try to cancel it and make it sound awful. Because this is something me and Ant talked about.
Good thing you don't listen to them much.
When the Disney movie came out, Soul, when that movie came out, which, as far as I know, was worked on by a lot of black people.
It was.
There was a lot of input from actual black people. They really exist.
Because they were designing a ton of black characters with black features. And they designed
all the characters in Soul with black features. The movie comes out, and immediately people on Twitter are like, this movie's racist, this guy has a big nose, blah, blah, blah.
And first of all, that looks like my uncle, so calm down.
Immediately, everybody starts calling the movie Soul racist. And it's like, guys, this movie was worked on, and so it's frustrating because no matter how good you make it, people are going to.
Here's the thing, though. Even though Soul did get some of that in the beginning, at the end of the day, it didn't go anywhere.
No, that's true.
That movie ended up being one of the, it like won awards, is critically acclaimed and everything like that. It's a good movie, one of the better ones, and they did try for sure. And I think that a part of it is also trolls, right? I think that trolls are a big part of it too. Like they kind of get the ball rolling. But luckily, I think if enough people are just like, yeah, so what? Whatever. Like we don't care. We're not canceling this fucking movie because they have black people in it who look like black people. Like there's a part in Soul where he goes and sees like his aunties. And they're literally just like black aunties. They're exactly like black aunties. They're playing fucking spades or some shit, and they're talking about the banana pudding in the fridge.
They're playing spades and telling everyone, well, if you don't know how to play, then you don't play.
That's how spades works in the black community. Like they're very black, and they're voiced by very clearly black women. Like I feel like Brandon Thigpen might have been one of them, and like the lady from our Superman show. Like it's very.
Yo, I just want everybody who doesn't know the inside shot Fraser just threw. Just know that Fraser through an inside shot.
Honestly, it's not even a shot. Like he knows.
That was so unnecessary.
Look, I'm trying to take this podcast to the next level. Okay,
I'm trying to take us to the next level. Fraser sent me, I forget. I think it was Long Beach Griffey. He sends me a video, and Long Beach. It's like the guy goes to heaven or whatever, and he's like saying, I forget, but he was like, man, blah blah blah. Like I'm not Hitler or Stalin or King Bosch. Like randomly, King Bosch like catches a shot like out of
he puts him in the same class as fucking Hitler and Stalin. I was like, yo,
damn,
why did he catch such a mean stray? That was my exact comment.
Here's what I think of you.
But an African region for Pokemon would be really cool, and I do truly think we'll get it one day, and I hope that the starters are like a lion, an elephant, and a giraffe, or whatever. I just hope that.
I'm telling you,
I hope they aren't like they don't get jobs. Like I hope it's not like fucking. I just hope I don't want them to have jobs. Like that's all.
I will never get over that.
I want to show you guys real quick. So I saved these two images. It's Incineroar, right? And so I'm going to show you like regular Incineroar. Where the fuck did he go? The world hates me, I guess. All right, well, you guys know what Incineroar looks like. I don't got to show you that one.
Yeah.
So
I actually play him a bit in Smash.
I'm going to just show. So this is like a fan Incineroar. And to keep it basically the same, but he's on all fours and he's not a wrestler.
I like the way that looks, by the way. That looks very anime.
Yeah. I wish it was like, I just want, now you guys can't see this, but this is Incineroar. He's on all fours and he's like this vicious tiger, I guess. And he still has the flames. Like, it still is Incineroar, but just put him on all fours. And I like it so much more. It's not as jarring as just like, I'm a wrestler now.
How is that image working like that? Do you see what it's doing? It's kind of like the background is actually, it's not in a square that's blocking out the cat. Like the cat is kind of peeking through.
Oh, it's a PNG.
Oh, PNG. Okay. They do that.
Yeah, it's a PNG.
That shit looks nice.
But yeah.
I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of want to see how the tennis player is gonna pan out. Like, I want to see how they can make this kitty cat into a tennis player.
It'll just stand on. I already got you. Ready? It fucking the second form still just looks like a cat, right? Third form though. It's tall. It has long legs. It has like a tennis skirt made out of leaves. It's got like a grass. Okay. It's got like a grass tennis skirt, and it's got a racket made out of like bark. Like the racket's made out of bark, and like the netting is like vines. The netting is like vines or spider webs, and then it has like this real sassy. It like has its hip out, and like I don't know, fairies jerk off to it, and it's got like an acorn, and it uses the acorn as a tennis ball.
Oh shit!
And it's like signature move is just like, you know, cat scratch acorn smash or something, and it throws the acorn in the air, and then it like jumps up and like pow, and like smacks it with the racket.
Why is this actually just happening?
And you see how like the tail is like bushy? Like now she's got like a ponytail also.
Yes,
a bushy ponytail in the back.
Yep.
Oh man,
yep.
I can envision it.
Grass and leaves create like her little fucking furry tennis girl outfit, and then like I don't know, kids draw. That's the other thing.
And
can't wait to.
And Fraser like, hey, you know, Pokemon's the gift that keeps giving.
Yeah,
just love it.
I can't wait until the duck gets his badge and his little stun gun on the side, and
water gun.
Yes, he's gonna have a little water gun on the side, which is gonna be very problematic, and then he's gonna have that move beat up, where like, you know, you get jumped by the whole squad.
So you're saying he's gonna be water dark as well?
Oh, he's definitely water dark. He's 100% water dark.
The cop is water dark.
Oh man! And the firefighter's gonna be minding his business.
Yep. Look at him.
He's just living his life over there.
Wow.
He's just living his life.
So the cool thing is that these final evolutions will have a secondary type, because that's been consistent, right, throughout.
Ish. In the Sword and Shield, actually, it was one of the first ones in a little while where all three were single type.
They're just whatever.
Cinderace was just fire. Inteleon was just water, and Rillaboom was just grass.
Right, and before that, there was like a little string of multiple typings at the end.
Yeah. Like before that was Incineroar, which is fire dark, and then I think a grass flying and a water. I don't fucking remember.
Yeah, then you got Greninja's water dark, and then the psychic
and then you got
fire.
Charizard's fire flying, because you know he's not a dragon.
Was Charizard fire flying in red?
He was. Dragon was the only dragon Pokemon in red version was Dragonite.
Yeah.
And Dragonair and Dratini. But Dragonite.
Yeah.
Just their line.
Yeah, that lineage.
And it sucks because if it's one of those things where it's like if it happened later, it would be this way. The only reason why Charizard's not a dragon type in red version is because they wanted that to be an exclusive type. It was like this rare mythical type. Yeah. Whereas if Charizard was created today, he would evolve into a fire dragon normally. You know what I mean?
Yeah, without having to be a mega evolution.
But instead, he's weak to rocks.
Very weak to rock.
Very fucking weak to
Stealth rock ruin you. Oh man. Well, this has been great.
But yeah, Spain region is what this is going to be, which is really cool because that's another thing. Just on that last note, some people were complaining that this one wasn't like people somehow got it in their head that the next Pokemon was going to be an African region. I don't really know what that was based on, and so there was a lot of people complaining that like this one wasn't that. And like, while once again, I think that'd be cool. It's not like Spain really gets represented in a ton of things either.
Yeah. I think that the African one can, wait a little longer until they get all their ducks in a row. I want them to be very.
I agree. I want it to be good.
Yeah.
I'm with Fraser on that one. Don't flood the African region.
Yeah, don't fuck that one up.
Here's my question. What would you guys, there's no way to know because it could be anything. What would you guys want the games to be called? The African region Pokemon game. What would Gemstone, because you can't do Diamond because it already exists.
Also, that if it were Diamond, that'd be fucking problematic as fuck.
Yeah, that would be very bad.
Oh man, if they were like, "Oh yeah, the African region is Pokemon Diamond," I'd be like, "This is wrong for 2 fucking reasons."
Like, how did you not have anyone in the room to tell you that that's not okay? Topaz, though, we don't have a Pokemon Topaz, right?
I don't.
Maybe a Jasper. Jasper is indigenous to Africa.
Pokemon Jasper and Pokemon Topaz. Jaspers are. I could just be making that. They're like green, right?
They can be green or yellow, but a green one would be cool. Like I have green Jasper dice.
Yeah.
Let's see here, Gemstone. What do we get? Oh, a whole. Yeah, I think you're right about Topaz.
Oh, Topaz, that was good.
Yeah,
Topaz could be cool. Also, I just thought of they wouldn't do this because it would probably be too clunky. But I actually think it's kind of cool. Garnet. But when you said Jasper could be green or yellow, just like it'd be interesting if it was like if they were both called Pokemon Jasper, but it was like
one was
like Pokemon Jasper green, Pokemon Jasper yellow, or or whatever. That's something that could be cool.
Yeah, they're gonna figure it out. I mean, they could also just be colors, right? Like Scarlet and Violet, or just like kind of color. Yeah, I mean they'll figure it out. Whatever they come up with, just don't call it brown. And then
if it were Pokemon Brown, I'd be like, come on, y'all.
Yeah, like no one's calling Pokemon Brown. Like that just.
I don't think they would do it. Multiple reasons. One, it would just feel a little questionable to call it Pokemon Brown, number one. But number two, it's like I feel like it's harder to market, right? Like Brown, it's just like
Brown is it's a hard color to market. Yeah, you're right.
Color to market. You know, it's like
why do you think that there are so many different colors of wood? Like every different wood type has like a title.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like cherry wood,
mahogany.
Wood, mahogany.
So Pokemon Mahogany would be.
Oh, actually, that would be great.
I would definitely buy Pokemon Mahogany. It's mahogany. It's definitely mahogany.
Right? Like that'd be sick.
That's the one.
If a Pokemon game where the two things were like two different kinds of wood for whatever reason, but like that would be sick.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But brown is like brown on its own is just kind of boring.
Yeah,
boring
brown doesn't.
It's not exciting.
It doesn't sound. Also, what's the opposing color to brown? Don't say white.
Like no. Well, they already did Pokemon Black and White.
No, that's what I'm saying. Don't say white.
They oppose each other, and it's like they're not complementary. They're already like contrasting.
Yeah, they're opposing colors,
but whatever.
Yeah, no, mahogany sounds cool, and then you gotta get something else.
Mahogany does sound cool.
Yeah, Pokemon Bamboo and Mahogany, and then boom, you're done.
There we go.
But yeah. I'll be down for that. I'll be down for but let that simmer a little bit. Let them get this one out. Let them correct this one. Let them get our cop, our tennis player, and our firefighter or whatever, and then we'll go from there. We'll go from there.
There's a couple regions. I wonder how many regions are like left to do. Like in terms of making them different. No, but in terms of like making them feel different. Like
they can do a South American one, and like go in an indigenous South American direction.
Italy.
They can do like
Italy could be cool.
Italy could be cool, but I'm tired of Europe. They could do like a northern, like a
where's
northern,
the ice area? Where's Antarctica or whatever?
Yeah, like an Inuit, based region.
Ant is done with Europe though. Ant is fully on.
You heard
that.
him. He's like, I'm over it.
When he saw FF16, he was like, this game is trash. He was like, I'm tired of white people.
It's actually just really the other day I took a tally of so there's a new Final Fantasy game coming out called Final Fantasy Origins, right? And like watching the trailer, first of all, was a bad trailer. Have no idea what I watched. But the fact that the main character, aside from his name being like Jim, like his name is actually just like Jim or Jack or something like that. And he is another blonde-haired, blue-eyed white man. And I'm just like, how many Final Fantasy protagonists are blonde-haired, blue-eyed white men? Some of them, I love some of those games. I love Final Fantasy 7, love Final Fantasy 10.
Yeah, but cliche as fuck.
Cloud,
Zidane.
Yeah, Zidane.
Hold on. In Titus's defense, he is not white. Titus is.
But he is blonde haired and blue. He's got golden hair and blue eyes.
Blonde hair and blue eyed.
He also looks like a white guy until you see him in the cutscene. I'm gonna be honest.
Final Fantasy 12. I forgot what his name is. Like they're all blonde.
Titus is a whole different race.
Cutscene Titus is not the Titus you're playing with. Cutscene
Titus is a whole different race.
He is Asian as fuck.
So he's got it. No,
he's like Taiwanese or something.
He
like,
becomes
he's a whole different
so
thing.
Asian in cutscenes.
He really does.
Like a boy band, like some fucking. I forget what the popular boy group is, BHK or whatever. I don't know. BTS. There you go. Behind the scenes, those guys. He becomes a member of that group so quick in a cutscene.
But yeah, like I took like a fucking top. Lunith is another blonde-haired, like so many Final Fantasy main characters are blue-eyed, blonde, golden hair.
Gray hair? Doesn't he have gray hair or no?
No, he's got. Well, at least in the remake, he has. Oh wait,
I don't remember.
They tried to get edgy with 15 and make Sasuke the main character.
It's the other guy that's got blonde hair. But like so many of them are they just follow that trope. That
we named like 4 or 5, and that's a lot considering there's only 15 games out, and fucking 5 of them have that.
So when I saw the trailer for Final Fantasy 16, and granted, he's not blonde haired, he's black haired. Wow, but he's got a British accent, and it's just like again. Like Europe-based fantasy. Yeah. And I'm like, for a game called Final Fantasy, you guys really don't push the fantasy, man. Like Final Fantasy really games have been pretty garbage. Like there's so much folklore in so many different cultures. One of my favorite summons is from Final Fantasy 8, and I'm Quetzalcoatl. I'm pretty sure I said his name wrong.
I don't know how to pronounce that one either, but I love that summon. The Thunderbird.
Like he's such a good he's only in that game.
Yeah.
And like that's like the only representation to any kind of like indigenous folklore or gods in Final Fantasy, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And I'm just like you guys have so much to pull from, but you keep using like Odin and shit.
And Ifrit and Shiva and like we get it, those are the classics, but come on, try here. Final Fantasy. It's called fantasy, damn it.
That's right.
All right, well, let me give a shout out to our patrons over at Patreon. IMNerd Podcast. Thank you guys so much for supporting the show. We have Connie, Austin, Leon, Quest, Hylian, TCG Automotive, Silver Chronic, Tyree Tinsley, Dimitri Barnes, Alexander Brissett, Vinny Casello, Dominic Roberts, Game Freak Yoshi, Alex Flamer, Gabe Marini, CJ, WK-1, Saul Edges at Dabber's Gaming Cafe, which actually has a 3v3 tournament this weekend at Dabber's Gaming Cafe in Georgia, so check that out on their Facebook page. 3v3 with great prizes, and they're also upping their prize pool in general. So there's something to look out for. We have Dan Vrabel, Joseph Marcello, and Scott Page. Thank you guys so much for supporting the podcast. We really appreciate it. It goes a long way. And just like in every other month, we will be dropping a Patreon exclusive episode. Also, for people who are wondering what our Patreon has to offer, we do have full video versions of all the podcast episodes. So if you want to watch this as opposed to just listening to it, you can do that there. We also have other things that you can check out. So look at that. We have a Discord server that you can get in by joining the lowest tier on our Patreon. And in the Discord, they vote on things to talk about on the show. We talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! All the time. We talk about Pokemon. We talk about pretty much everything in the Discord. It's a nerd Discord, very nerdy. So anything that comes out during the week, we throw it up there and we just start discussing it. We make a lot of crude jokes and all that good stuff. So if you're into that type of thing, then check that out. But yeah, and also Anthony streams over at Critical Hit Plus on Twitch. So he streams Elden Ring. So if you guys want to check that out, will you be streaming tonight or?
Well, yeah, I'm about to go stream right now. I mean, when they hear it, it's gonna be
tomorrow. So, are you streaming Thursday night?
Wait, what's today?
Today's
Today's
Wednesday.
Oh shit! Yeah, I will.
Okay. So yeah, by the time when you guys hear this, Anthony will be streaming Thursday night on Critical Hit
Thursday
Plus.
night, Critical Hit Plus, some more Elden Ring.
Yes.
I may or may not be at AU.
Yeah, Kenny may be at AU tomorrow. I'm going to be there with all my Edison cards. I did. It's crazy. I want to talk about Edison a little bit this podcast, but we already covered Elden Ring and Pokemon, and that was actually 2 hours of content, which is amazing that we could just have this. I mean, a lot of it was us laughing and just ranting, but I love it.
Just talking shit.
I thought it wouldn't be enough time. I was like, well, as I was talking, I was like, shit, I got a lot to say about this game.
I know, isn't it crazy?
That always happens. We just talk about shit and then okay.
Goes off on tangents. It's fun. It's very, very fun. So yeah, well, obviously Anthony has already been on the show 3 times. He'll be back again. I do want to get his input on, Metroid Dread and that whole thing.
Yeah, I got to talk about
that. And then the new Kirby game's coming out at some point, and I know me and Kenny are big playing that. Like, I can't wait. There's a lot coming. New Xenoblade coming this year. I'm going to start Xenoblade. I want to see if Gary can turn on my OpenSea switch so I can get my Xenoblade on. I don't need online for Xenoblade, right?
I don't think so.
Okay, good. No. That's all I needed to hear.
No. You should be able to just play it straight through.
Good.
Xenoblade 1 and dog, if you go through Xenoblade 1, there's so much in that game that I'm just excited for you to see, and then because I just know we'll do a podcast episode on it too.
Oh, of course.
But there's a lot I want to talk about that game that is just really well done that we can't get into right now.
That's an open world that's got a great story.
And that's the one with Shulk, right?
Yes.
With his Australian accent. Busta!
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you guys are interested in hearing about Xenoblade, I'm definitely going to be playing that soon. So that'll be an episode where obviously we have some more anime stuff. We're going to have more Yu-Gi-Oh guests, all the fixings, all the things that you like the podcast for. So check that out. And as I always say, do the things that make you happy.
And before I sign out, if you want to write in to the IMNerd podcast at gmail.com and let us know what you think the starters are going to evolve into and how
please.
many and how confident you are that they're going to be a cop and a tennis player.
Yeah, tell us what you believe their jobs are going to be.
I'm sold on cop for sure. There's no question. And after Kenny described the tennis player, I know that's just what she is.
Yeah, it's weird. I would have never thought it, but once he said it, I just saw it. It resonated.
Yep, I see it now.
She's already all bubbly. It's like she's already got a tennis playing.
She looks like a tennis. That cat looks like a fucking tennis player.
She radiates tennis for some reason. I don't know what it is about.
And my man Ducky is a fucking cop. He
Ducky
the cop. No question.
Before we go, we can't go off on this tangent, but have you guys? This is by far the most popular meme, I guess, for these 3 starters is making them look like Kingdom Hearts. Like they make the cat look like Sora.
Yes,
the cat looks like Sora. The duck is Donald, and then they make that goofy ass dinosaur Goofy.
I have seen some of that.
Yeah,
I've also seen them turn them into like Scrooge McDuck.
Pretty
I've seen
accurate.
because there's some Donald Duck. Obviously, there's a bunch.
Yeah,
did you see the fucking one where the cat is Notoria Beast from Yu-Gi-Oh?
No, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, there's a. Let me pull up the image of Notoria Beast for Anthony, but there is. That one was actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. That's pretty good. I gotta say, all right, save image. Let me pop this up on the screen real quick. So this is a popular Yu-Gi-Oh card, which obviously is a cat, but it's also like a grass type of cat, and it's on all 4s and everything. It's one of the more powerful Yu-Gi-Oh cards too. Very powerful.
That thing has been unfair for a long time.
It's a fucking menace, but
I hate to yuck your yum, but that's gonna be the only 4-legged cat you're gonna be seeing. We're getting a tennis player, my guy.
I can't wait for the racket made out of wood. All right. Well, on that note, goodbye.
Have a good night.
See ya.